All right, so let's kind of get started here.
Mm,
Who wants to do the recap for last session? JK, we're gonna roll for it.
Oh no.
Joe, Kevin, Traven, reroll.
Kevin!
I know it has been me at least 10 fucking times at this point. I call bullshit on this.
Would you like to reserve your turn for next time?
You've asked this every single time as well. Fuck all of you. What do I recall at least? I know that we went to a dinner party at a mansion in either it was I think it was Rubico. I don't know what city we were
Yeah,
in
it
anymore.
was a little bit outside of Rubrica.
Okay, yeah, we went to a fancy like dinner party with like a masquerade ball or something like that. I think, yeah, Mimpy he carried in a sock puppet and tried to like make it so that he can persuade everyone that it's actually a real person, not a sock puppet.
It's not.
I'm the only person. I'm the only person who still believes it is a person, not a sock puppet. So
Well, some people did succeed on their rolls later. I think Traven still thinks it's a real person.
Let's just say Alice still does.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
Um,
So there was one of those little tidbits. We went to look around, talk to some people. We also got to talk to some dwarf at like the bar.
Hector.
Hector, yes, he was very drunk off his ass. He challenged Mimpy into a drinking contest. I don't know who got super drunk and who didn't.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Barthon and
Alice.
Mimpy, I believe.
Yep.
Because
So-
Alice had water.
Yeah, she finally got her water the second time around. Yeah. So we had that. Afterwards, we decided to go look around, talk to some people, more people here and there. I don't know if there's somebody certain that we were talking to. It was Henry. I know there was that. Who else?
We talked to Henry. We talked to Dragonborn.
Guy? Dragonborn dude. Yes. We also
Which I had a
split up.
fantastic conversation with.
Yes, yes, we did. We did split up. So it was me and Barthon, and then there was Mimpy. I don't know what he was doing, and Alice as well in her like corner. Me and Barthon went to go look for the guy, and he ended up being in the room like a. God damn it, Traven! I know you're playing as Winnie the Moon. Get off of that.
Huh? What
And
are you
then,
talking about?
Wow, great way to respond. So we talked to I forget his name. I don't know who it is now. And
You spoke to Raphael.
Raphael. Okay, yeah.
Baffling.
And he gave a little bit of his backstory on his troubles, managing stuff because he didn't want to be put in that position. Me and Barthon decided to keep an eye on him by just sitting down, like, in the same room, just milling about. And then all of a sudden, assassins came around. They just started coming out of nowhere, and they just started stabbing everyone. And then good old Raphael ended up getting stabbed himself. He was in critical condition. I think either Alice or Barthon managed to stabilize him. I don't know who. And then, all hell broke loose in the actual, like, main rooms, ballroom, all that. Then there was this one certain woman who had, like, an ice sword. We just call we call her Ice Lady, just Ice Bitch, I don't know. And she was mainly targeting Henry, and Henry definitely did took a couple of nasty hits. Somehow still alive, don't know why. And there was a long battle between everyone. Me and Barthon eventually managed to join back in, and the woman tried to escape, but Barthon and Alice managed to get on a horse, or Barthon conjured a horse from one of his patches, and then they chased after her, and then after a bunch of ensuing fails at acrobatics and whatnot, they somehow managed to get her, and that's all I remember.
And would somebody please regale me with what happened when they got her?
Strangling.
Oh, that's right. There was strangling, unnecessary amounts of strangling.
Yeah, so that was fun. And she was knocked unconscious from that strangling.
Alice and Barthon strangled her.
But you did keep her alive for purpose of questioning.
Did we
So-
though? I mean, they nearly killed her.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we nearly killed her, but we kept her alive. She did not die.
So we're going to be picking up right at that moment. So kind of setting the scene. Mimpy and oh man, I almost said fucking your character from Pilgrim's Refuge, Kevin the Agrutus.
Brutus!
No.
Brutus! Oh, Brutus
Rayold
here.
and Mimpy. Rayold, you see Mimpy kind of just pass out, maybe overexertion of combat. And look around, you can see that there are a lot of dead people.
Many bodies, much blood, very, very stinky.
Yeah, so it's chaos in there. Alice and Barthon, you see outside. You've just finished basically strangling this woman. Parthos has caught up with you. He's looking a little bit grim, and he reaches down, grabs the woman, and throws her over his shoulder. As the woman's sword leaves her hand, it just disappears. And so he picks her up, as I said, puts her over his shoulder and turns to you and says, "We need to get back, find out if anything happened to the king."
Sounds like
okay.
Sounds like a good
Understandably, would you like to take the horse, since I know it's probably most important that you get back before we do?
If you insist, I will. And he goes over to Barry, the horse, and mounts him with ease and turns around and starts galloping back to the manor. Are you two heading back, or are you doing anything?
Heading back.
Okay. So you guys both make your way back. Switching over to Rayold. Rayold, a few minutes later, you see Parthos come galloping to the front door. Like, you hear the galloping, get out, and he runs in with a woman still over his shoulder, kind of like looks at this carnage in front of him. Henry is going around. He's directing people to help. He's trying to take stock of some of the bodies that are dead and those who are still alive. And a couple. Henry does approach you, Rayold, and says, "Excuse me, is there would you be able to go around and check and see which nobles are still alive?" And he points down at one of them by his feet, and he says, "Tor is actually he's gone from this world."
Oh.
Tor is also is a human noble, just for you guys' reference, and he's the noble in charge of the area of land with the Temple of Kermi in Marketopia.
Okay.
I'm now emotionally attached to this character.
I'm not saying that to get you emotionally attached.
Oh.
I'm just
Alice
giving
starts
you.
Ooh.
So
Oh.
yeah.
All right, I will do my part to check around, and hopefully help out those who are still alive.
Okay.
So, do you want me to roll anything in particular?
Yeah, go ahead and just roll a perception. And we'll say that you spent a little bit of time walking around, kind of checking on people, and you met all of the nobles, or at least met them from a distance as you were traveling around.
Okay.
So you notice a few things. Raphael is still alive.
Yeah, he's just breathing heavily, I imagine.
Yeah. Of the ones you met, the ones who are dead are Tor, the one I just described.
Mm-hmm.
Amalia, who, if you recall, was the one from Fior.
Oh.
Her throat is slit just in the battle. And there's another human, Farior, who is killed as well. And, one more notable thing, Baylor, the automaton noble, is missing an arm.
Nice.
Well, at least that could be fixed.
Yeah.
That can be fixed.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Where's the arm? I'll just attach it.
Yeah.
But the nobles all kind of begin gathering around towards where Henry is at, and some of them are whispering, but a lot of them are kind of quiet. The general mood of the building is silence. You know, there's a lot of dead people that died here.
Very tense. Very tense.
Dead people. There's a lot of people that die here tonight, not dead people that died.
A lot of dead people that lived here.
Lot of dead people.
Here.
Lot of dead people.
And so about a minute or so later, Alice and Barthon come in as well. You notice that the guard at the door is also like slaughtered, like the one who had asked you to put weapons in the chest.
Right.
No.
All right, I'm gonna go pull all my weapons out the
Oh,
chest.
that's true. We should probably grab our stuff.
Not
while
that
we're at it.
guy.
So all of you pull your collective items out of the chest. So you now have full range.
Like she pulls a weapon out of the chest.
It's like, oh, this is mine. Slides
Oh
it
yeah,
back in.
it's fine.
Slides it back into the backpack.
And what do you call it? Henry begins kind of whispering to some people. There's only one like guard that was like still assigned. Thank you, assigned to him that's still alive. And Parthos goes and grabs Henry and leads him over to his horse, and then gets on the horse behind him, and says, "That I need you three." And then he like sees Happy with Mimpi over his shoulder. You four, to meet me back at the castle. Very urgent. We need to find out what's going on, and I need. And he still has also no. He walks over to you guys and says, "Would you be able to transport this woman for me?"
Transport back to the
Okay.
city. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because
And
That's
like
fine.
Alice like holds out her arms. She's like, "Oh, grab her."
And so he like gently, like not gently, but like kind of puts the woman in your arms, which is nothing to you.
Apparently, now we're looking at you with some
This
suspicion
is
there,
like
Alice.
really. How tall is this woman? Is she like 6 foot?
She's very tall for a woman. She's 6
Oh
feet.
man, this is such a weird image. You got like this little 5'3" girl holding this big old fucking woman. Like
Clearly, it's
Yeah.
gonna draw attention, man. Who? Oh.
But he says, Barthon, I need to commandeer your horse momentarily as well, if you don't mind.
Understandably.
I will give it back to you once we arrive at the keep. And he turns to the guard, the remaining guard left watching Henry, and speaks to him in Draconic, and he kind of nods, and they depart. The various nobles kind of stream out afterwards, and Bacchus, the elf noble, says, What are we supposed to do now? I mean, look all this death, destruction.
All the death.
I only had 2 drinks. This is what happens? God.
Maybe you shouldn't drink.
I guess so. Apparently, my 2 drinks, the first 2 that I've had in 20 years, man, this is what happens. God, now I have to go another 20 years without drinking.
I just imagine like someone's like, "Guard, see this man. It's because of him that everyone died."
Oh.
Or maybe you should drink more often, and this is what builds up when you don't drink.
I
That's a good
like that.
point.
I like that explanation much better. Thank you.
So continue
And,
drinking away, and maybe things won't happen again.
Garfex, who, if you recall, is
Nope.
orange-haired noble who looks like Nigel Thornberry if he was ripped.
Unfortunately.
Like Nigel
Okay.
Thornberry if he is mixed with Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I guarantee I can find an image of something like that already.
No, don't even try. Don't even try.
Please don't. Let's not.
Only Harmon
He's-
would appreciate this, and I don't want you to do this right now.
He says, "All right, everybody, we're gonna have to be wrapping up. We need to make it to the castle, figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Nobles, I need you to appoint your second in command. What if we lost our second in command? Okay, appoint somebody to start working on this, finding out who died, taking count of what's happened. But we need to depart." And they all kind of like groan and moan. And they
Yes, nobles.
I know, right?
they end up they make their way to the stable area where they each have their own horses or cart, and they begin heading out. Are you guys heading out too, or is there anything you guys want to do here before we leave?
I would like to loot off of all of the dead bodies.
I really shouldn't have Googled this because now I'm trapped. I'm
Oh.
seeing all of this.
Okay,
fan
so
art.
if you want to, are you trying to loot bodies of people?
Oh, all
Only
right.
the dead women.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
the women we killed.
Yeah, I know. Okay, go to roll perception.
Cabin.
I mean, you do you.
Good, so what are you doing looting this body? And it's like, but that's a noble.
I'm looting a
Looting.
body.
Go to roll perception, Jack.
I'm trying to get to the thing. I had them all closed.
This is why
First
you need two
step.
monitors, man.
It is why I need 2 monitors.
Okay, so all of the women are wearing these rather plain white robes, and each of them did have a weapon.
Such casuals.
But as the weapon is removed from their hand, or their hand is moved away, whatever, it disappears. But there is one woman who does have a small pouch, kind of hidden in one of the folds of her robe. And inside that is a very small circular stone tablet with some writing on it that you can't quite make out.
Comprehend language.
Does anyone have comprehend language?
I mean,
Doesn't
I know
yeah,
I do.
doesn't right? Yeah, Rail does.
I do.
Well, unless Joe tells you, you technically
Unless he
don't.
tells
I
you.
know, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
there.
yeah, I'll say something about it.
Okay.
Yes. I found this odd circular stone tablet that I cannot read. Does
Oh.
anybody know how to read this?
Maybe I can take a swing at it. Let me take a look over there, Barthol.
So you use comprehend languages, and
What the fuck is this?
you're able to read the markings on this rock, which, as you're reading, you recognize that it's it's primordial.
Primordial, huh?
And on it says, what do
You can just message it to me. Or
no. That's what's gonna be nice about Fantasy Grounds. They actually have a built-in language thing that I can type, and then it would only show to those who understand the language. Really neat. Anyways,
that's why
When,
we
when
gotta
we doing
do the
that
switch.
switch over?
Yeah,
oh, wait, that's right.
when are we
Never
doing
mind.
that?
when I get my tax return money.
Okay.
So there are 3 lines, and each one has one word and a period. The first line
It's a
says
haiku.
No.
the
but
first line says offense.
Okay.
Second line says southwest,
Sure.
and then the third line says yesterday.
Wow. Okay, so something already happened in the Southwest. Is basically what this says. Gotcha. This tablet doesn't have much to say, but it seems to only say offense, Southwest, and yesterday on it. Could that mean that something already happened?
Is Alice Princess Carries?
Yesterday?
Yeah, something must have already happened yesterday. Who knows?
In the Southwest.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sounds like it, doesn't it? You know
It was
what?
offensive.
What is southwest of us? It's frat fallen, as they say.
Well, I mean that's the one that's close to our keep.
True. I don't know how far they would honestly want to go. I mean,
Keep in mind that Ajar is a separate continent.
separate
Oh, is it?
continent, separated by the sea. We must go travel.
Is it that little tiny place that's right down there?
Nope.
Right there.
Right there, that little tiny.
Is it the top right, the one that's all pointy?
Nope.
It's a separate
Girls.
continent,
Jesus.
not a separate selection.
Okay.
So yes.
Do we have some sort of way to like obtain a map of Ajar?
You could always ask the king.
All right.
Or we can ask our fucking in-house map maker.
That is also very true.
Well,
Which one's faster?
Which one's closer?
I would prefer to use our in-house map maker so that he gets less depressed.
And more XP to build with.
Yeah. He's just like sitting in the castle. Now he's got like no patrons. It's just us.
Yeah, I mean, it also wouldn't hurt to ask Godwin, because it's no guarantee. Keep in mind that the only people that have been to Ajar are Godwin and the troops that he took with him. And they did have a map maker with them, a cartographer.
Well, it's always best to get.
Was it our
more than one
cartographer
map.
and then everybody forgot about him after that?
Maybe.
That'd be
Who knows?
silly.
Oh. But it's
Would be
always,
silly
it's
though,
always
Dylan.
best to get
Would it?
more than one cartographer or more than one map to compare at least.
Solid.
I hope, to be honest, I hope we get a map from the king that is like very detailed, and then we go to our guy at the keep, and he gives us like a square, and that's it. And it says a jar in the center.
Oh my goodness, man.
So, is there anything else you want to do here? You want to talk to some people? Do you want to look around the building? I can always pull up the building map again.
Did you say loot?
Look around the building. And actually, I can also, just for sake of ease, in case you are interested, let me actually reveal the entire map.
Oh, we never really did much. Oh my
Oops.
goodness. Oh, those are
Whoa.
separate floors. Okay.
It's an actual map.
It is an actual map. I was gonna say, can you make the map bigger? And it's like, oh wait, we can just zoom in.
When did Kermie get here?
When did Kermit get here? Why is he in the building?
That's you guys.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, we
that was
were the
representing
Kermie
your
the
party.
entire time.
What the heck?
But Kevin and I were the cat looking at the wine bottles.
Ooh.
that is true.
Yes.
Well, and mice, which you can't really tell in that picture, but if you look at the diplomacy skill picture, you can see the full thing.
They're having a lot of diplomacy right now.
Jesus.
So
Not just cats and mice.
So we have this girl. They said they wanted us to transport her. So are we just transporting it back to the castle?
Yeah.
Or prison cell?
For
Or...
interrogation.
For
Yeah,
interrogation.
we're transporting her. I was gonna use the horse and just tie her over the ass of the horse and whatever.
Alice is fine carrying her, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, if you're good with that, you're good with that. You do it up.
Sure.
A horse can't choke her if she wakes up again.
I mean,
Yeah,
you better
but
not be rolling those failed
beat
strengths,
shit
man.
back to sleep by the horse.
Something
going
that we
up.
could do, something we could do though, because you haven't done it yet. Is she actually tied up right now, or I
She's
might
not
just
tied
straight
up.
So
Not
actually, do you
tied
want to
up.
tie her up?
Oh.
Do you have rope?
I don't know. Does someone have rope?
No, check.
Just ask if somebody has rope.
Do you not
Anyone
have?
have? So Alice has to roll to get the courage to ask somebody for rope.
Okay.
Wow.
Because it's new people again.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't recognize almost any of these people.
Yeah. So boop
Ooh.
Boop. and boop.
Anything special? Okay. I mean, decent maybe.
Okay.
Can I have some rope?
A dwarf kind of like looks at you with wild eyes and says, "A rope? What? Wait, a rope? Whatever? Because you need a rope for?"
Alice like lifts up
I'll
the
take
girl over her head. It's like, I gotta tie this person up.
Oh, say no more, lass. And he goes over and he grabs. He picks up a rope. And he kind of like shakes his head no, and then reaches down and grabs some metal chains, and brings them over to you.
Oh, okay. And then like Alice sits the girl down and like gets the chains, and she's holding the chains for a second, and then she looks back up and says, "Does anyone know how to tie?"
Oh.
Tie chains.
All right, I'll go back at this. Last time I did it, I rolled a 21.
All right. Let's see this.
What is it?
Sleight of hand.
Okay. Oof.
Oh no.
So you go to you're like, whatever. You take this these chains. You try to tie up the woman, and
Oh.
in comedic cartoon fashion, you tie yourself up a little bit instead.
I wanted.
What, Traven?
All right, I guess I only know rope.
Alice looks at Martha. I was like, "That's not what I wanted."
Well.
Alice is gonna try
Sorry.
and
I'm a little-
unchain Barthon.
Okay,
So,
let's.
also sleight of hand. Or...
Yeah.
Rayo is just kind of baffled at the scene that's unfolding right now.
You pretty adeptly untie him.
Now I have to
at
tie the girl.
least they have decent distance from each other this time.
Oh.
Oh. But,
Nice job, Alice.
So
Wow.
Alice is going to apparently do very complex knots. when
because
she's using these chains.
even though she asked someone else to do it. All right.
Alice has never actually tied a knot before, but apparently she's really good at it.
All right. God. Okay.
Cool. So she's now chained up, and Alice is gonna pick her back up.
Okay. Pick her back up.
Does she have any weapons or anything on her? Obvious, or
Oh, I should still have my dagger on her, actually.
Yeah.
So I'll
she
take
does. Okay.
But besides that, if you call her sword disappeared when it left her hand.
Magic.
Magic.
Such magic.
So okay. Well, she doesn't have any weapons on her person that we can see. She's all chained up. I think we're good.
Cool.
Alice can strangle her even more if people feel that she's not properly unconscious.
We're good. We're good right now, Al.
Okay.
We're all right.
Ooh.
So I guess, really, the only thing we really can do is, I guess, start interrogating this person.
Well.
We can get back to the castle.
Yeah. Why don't we do
Yeah.
her first, and then yeah.
Unless someone wants to ask Henry anything, or if there's anything
Well,
else.
Henry already left with Parthos.
Oh, well, okay. Nice meeting you too, Henry. It's not like we saved your life or
He
anything.
did say thank you.
I mean, I don't
or
know
at
if we
least
really.
thank yous
aren't
to.
appreciated. Gold is.
That will be awarded to us when we're back at the castle.
Alice is gonna get greedy.
I don't
Chart
know.
finances, and she's gonna buckle down.
Okay.
We're all gonna be on a diet now.
I don't.
MB.
I don't know, man. I still can't see that happening. But sure.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna make our way back to the castle.
Yee.
All right. So, real fast. Also, I just found out Fantasy Grounds is actually $30 cheaper, so I'm just gonna use my PayPal account to buy it. to set up for next session.
Okay.
But you guys begin making your way over to back to the castle. From walking, it takes about an hour or so. Actually, wait, sort of kind of skip that back. You guys took horses.
Did we all take horses?
You did.
We did take horses.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Nah, it's
We
okay.
have our own keep and we have fancy cloaks. Of course we have.
We could totally just walk. What do you mean?
And
Alice can walk. She doesn't mind.
do you want to walk or do you want to ride the horse?
I want to ride the fucking horse. I'm not insane.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
So, all of you get on your horses, and Happy kind of like looks at the horse and then looks back at himself for a moment. And he kind of like tentatively looks like he's going to try and lift his like leg up, but he just pats the horse on the head and says, "All right, everybody, let's keep going. I'll just run and keep up or try. Don't worry about me. I just have this guy over my shoulder."
I'm sorry, Happy.
It's you know what they say, life's misery.
Happy, you
And
can
then
throw him over the back
Alice
of my-
like lifts. Alice like takes one hand and then just like tries to pat Happy, but he's obviously too tall, so now stops. It's like, you're doing good, Happy. Gives like a thumbs up.
Happy, you can put Mimpy on the back of my horse, and then if that'll help you out.
I can carry Mimpy. I mean, I still got enough room.
I-
I'll just throw Mimpy
I can always
on
just
her.
put it right on his horse.
I kind of want to put. I kind of want to put Mimpy on top of her.
I mean,
just
wanna-
like piles them.
Be able to
you
hand
want
that.
you want to crush her, sure.
Because I just imagine that like Mimpy's snoring right now.
That'd be great.
But yeah, we could just put Mimpy on the horse, and we'll all take horses except Happy, unfortunately.
He'll keep up. So
Draw like a really buff Happy.
I mean, that's what I imagine for.
no,
Happy.
well the thing is, he looks very deceptively not buff.
Oh, well, no,
Because
just for the memes.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Hmm.
So you guys begin making your way with haste to the castle. As you kind of begin galloping in town, there are people milling about. Normally, I mean, they're
Milling
generally
when there was just a murder. No.
there are generally like some people out and about at night, but it seems like a lot of the city is kind of worriedly looking around, out and about. You see there are a lot of extra guards at the gate, about 400 or 500.
Oh.
Just a
Oh.
few extra guards, you know.
They're
Yeah.
like 400, 500 of them. You know, just only a few.
So, like, Alice sees all the guards. She's like, hello?
And what you see, one of the royal knights, who are dragonborn, steps up, and blue dragonborn. She says, "Welcome back, your lordships and lady."
I'm just going to leave that there for everyone to enjoy.
I
only
hate this.
see
I haven't even seen
that
it.
image, and I don't even want to look at it.
Well, I say this.
You can't be serious.
Hold on one second, because that's gonna be his new character portrait.
You can't
Yeah.
be serious. Stop.
I don't know. I really love the current one.
So that's actually
Oh,
what
wait, I know
back
how
when
to-
I was playing Dark Souls, there's a whole bunch of fucking memes, and I could have swore that back then there was a meme that had one of the mushroom guys. Because there's a shit ton of memes about them.
Oh no.
That's the first thing I found.
So you'll see what I'm doing in just a moment.
Like Photoshop Happy's face, cut it out, and then put it on that one. I can crush your head.
Okay, so if you guys look in the characters now, you can see two versions of Happy.
One with Tavern Brawler off, and one with Tavern
Wait.
Brawler on.
Happy and
Wow.
then Combat Edition.
Wow.
Like it. I like
Did you
it.
just copy all of his stuff over to that, or do you just have it as a separate thing now?
Oh, I just have it as a separate picture, that's all.
Just imagine like Happy goes from this little cart, like literally from our perception, Happy goes from this little cartoony looking motherfucker, and right when combat starts, he gets like a bunch of shadows and definition, and he just bulks up.
He just suddenly rips out of his old form and just becomes like JoJo all of a sudden.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, that's what he does. He he is inside of the previous one.
Yeah, he is.
And then
And
when
then
combat
he
comes, he just sheds it. He grows out of it, and it peels off of him.
He takes off the rust. That's just the
Yeah.
rust.
Great.
Um,
All right, that's
all
the
these
thing.
guards.
So so all the guards they approach and say please please continue post haste to the castle.
All of them did that. That's wild.
No, the person talking to you, psycho.
Very wild.
So, are these now our guards?
No. No.
I was
I'm not
gonna
giving you
say,
that.
like, that's a lot of pay going really quick. Alice is gonna have to really actually crunch some numbers and figure
I think it's
this
funny
out.
that like your first instinct wasn't how can I mean like, oh man, look at all these guards, but more, oh my god, I can't pay all these guards.
Because Traven just wants
Money's
to be...
important!
Traven wants to be like gung-ho with all the money right now. Oh god.
I don't mind it. I find money systems interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it will be completely fine with in charge of military and finances if everyone's cool with it. But obviously, I don't have to if you guys don't want me to.
I don't know. We'll see.
I will make sure everyone gets paid. Equally is a different story.
Wow. I didn't know that Alice could be such a selfish person.
Alice just gives like a really smug look. Oh man, I need to draw a smug Alice.
All right,
draw that.
so
Wait, what
what'd you say?
Kevin?
Wait, what?
What have you done?
What? I don't know. I really don't.
I must draw a smug Alice now. That is a thing.
So you guys are able to make it. Let me switch over to the what am I? You guys are able to make it without any issue to the castle gates.
Is the girl
And-
awake yet?
What?
Is the girl awake yet? It's been like an hour.
No, she's
Oh.
not. I mean,
She's
you
bonked.
strangled her, so.
Oh.
But you see an advisor's kind of standing up the top of the castle steps waiting for you.
Hi.
And he's like shuffling his hands together a little bit nervously. He says, hey guys, hey, if you want to just follow me, we can always I can take you to where everyone else is at. What is that? Is that a person? Are you holding two? Is that two, are both those people unconscious? Or are they dead?
Like Alice,
Well, both
So I
of
imagine-
them are unconscious.
Yeah.
One of them is our friend. The other one is
one person is
one of the
unconscious.
she-devils that attacked the party.
I was just gonna say one is more unconscious than the other.
Guess who?
Oh,
Maybe.
And then
Yeah.
like you see there's red marks on the girl's neck.
Yeah.
Mimpy would be the one that is technically more unconscious than
Technically
the
more
other.
unconscious. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So
Alice, like, actually, has Alice met this person before?
no, I mean you've seen them like in passing. You've never had a conversation with them.
Alice doesn't answer.
Wow.
All right, so yeah, we're following.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of leads you deeper into the castle, and he leads you to a room that you haven't personally been in yet, and it's a council room. And in the room there, it's about when you're let in, you see it's about 50 feet wide by 60 feet long, and there's a large round table, and on this table you see a massive map of Elaria, much more detailed than the ones that you have, and also around the room, every foot or two is another guard, elite guards, all of them wearing
Elite
the
guard?
Leap.
all of
Elite.
them wearing the royal guard
Elitist guards.
uniforms, but you can tell that there's a lot of magic weapons that they have kind of amongst them. And there's kind of seated around this table are the remaining nobles, Henry and Godwin. And There are exactly 3 seats open.
No, I refuse to believe that they didn't plan this now.
Well, I mean, you have to keep in mind there are 3 dead nobles. So
That's true.
This wasn't
Dylan's
planned
the
with
one
you
that
in
planned
mind.
this out.
Oh no, you're right. It is.
That is actually really coincidental.
Just for
that
us?
wasn't my intent.
Just for us.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So what Alice is
boy.
gonna do is she's gonna sit the girl in the one chair. She's gonna go put Mimpy in the other chair, and Alice is gonna take a seat. No.
No.
Alice
Wow.
is gonna like look at the chair and then look back to the person she's holding, and then look at the chair and be like, he just drops her on the ground.
Okay.
And take a seat because she doesn't really know where to put her, so she just put her on the ground.
So, cool. So you put it on the ground, it's still chained up, and Godwin raises a hand in your direction, says, I did not expect to see you so soon, but I appreciate your work yet again saving my son.
Oh, it's not a problem at all, sir.
Can we can we lock this person up? And Alice like lifts the woman.
Wow.
Well, we definitely will be, but that is not the first line of business with her. So we, as you know, have officially been attacked. This is a gross grievance. So now we must decide what needs to be done. But before we talk about that, is there anything that was said when you were chasing her? Is there anything you can tell me? Any information at all?
I can't help you guys
What
with
was
that.
the last line that she said? Oh, Christ.
Again, I can't help you with that
Been a
because
really long time.
I did not get. I was not with you guys when I.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Keen mind does not work.
Doug, can you have like a little bit of help since it's been 2 weeks?
Yeah, I will. The last line that she had said was the line that clued you into her being from Ajar. She had said essentially along the lines of Ajar is forever. So it wasn't. It was just to let you know that it was Ajar.
Okay.
Viva la revolution!
Okay.
What
Well,
Railed said.
As we knocked her out, she did say that she was with Ajar.
I see. That is not ideal.
A predicament.
Whew. Yikes. All right. So we well,
There's a lot of fuse.
Yes, there
not a
is.
good situation. He kind of gestures around at the entire group and says, "What actually, let me stare this way. Henry, lead the discussion." He kind of pales a little bit, stands up and says, "All right, everybody. I propose that we fortify our borders. If we pull our resources together," and Hector kind of chimes in and says, "Pull our resources together? What kind of people do you take us for? We must be tending to our own borders. Every man, woman, child, and other race, like the magnificent dwarves, for themselves."
What?
Anarchy.
And
So anarchy.
I have to have the sheet up so I can properly make sure everyone gets their turn. The Isidore, the gnome noble from the area of which Mimpy is from, says, "Yes, actually, that's not too bad of an idea, to be frank. I think that if we try and hold the entire outer border, it may be a little bit complicated. We need to try and solidify our internal affairs before we worry about this force majeure. Chances are they're not even sending an offensive force just yet. This is probably just an assassination attempt, which we should know to be on the lookout for.
Press X to doubt.
And Henry says, while that is noted, I don't really think that is the best course of action that we should be taking right now. We need to pool our resources together. It's very important that we're able to stand up against this foe, because otherwise they will do what they did in the past, taking us down one by one, maybe then turning us against each other, and that is not needed at this moment. We already have 3 of our nobles dead. Henry finishes.
That we do.
And Mulandis says, yes, I think that I agree with what Prince Cornet Henry says. But
there's an airplane in the background.
He kind of like looks behind him towards you guys and says, what do you four think?
Also, that's my heat. That's my Hita. That is my Hita.
There's an airplane in the background. Traven, I told you to stop working on jets for once. Gosh.
Yeah, that is my Hita. It is a very good Hita.
What to do in this predicament?
Right now, personally, I think it's best to side with Henry. We need to solidify the borders.
Specifically around here, and not like any other capital.
I mean, he's not saying around.
He's saying
Rubico.
like
he's saying around the continent.
That is a lot of resources. A lot of resources, man.
That's why he's saying that we need to pool them.
But even so, that would definitely take a lot of time to prep.
So while you're doing that, let me actually just solidify. The conversation goes on for a little bit. I'm not going to narrate all of it, but it gets to the point of arguing. And essentially, the room is kind of split. There are... did I say Garfex earlier? I meant Leolis, not Garfex. The Nigel Thornberry guy is Leolis. Okay, so when the smoke clears, essentially what's left is you have on one side, and someone write this down, on one side is Henry.
Yeah.
With Parthos, Leolis, and Mulandis.
Wait, what? Mulandis, you said?
Mulandis.
Okay.
Those 3 are of the opinion that we must collectively pool our resources together to keep track, even though it's going to be pricey, to try secure the borders of the continent before worrying from there. The other group, which basically is everyone else, okay. Which for numbers' sake, hold on. Which for numbers' sake is 7 of them. 7 nobles. 7 nobles propose that instead of focusing on the overall borders first, we need to be focusing on securing the individual areas, like inward, and working our way outward. So, looking at the map, the 7 nobles propose starting at Rubico, solidifying those borders, and then kind of working out from there time by time. Before reaching the edge. Whereas Henry and the other 3 propose going to the borders and working their way inwards while keeping a strong presence on the borders.
You know, I honestly would probably go with the Seven Nobles ideas for this.
Yeah, I think it would make most sense. Keep the capital secure, because if you just go straight out to the
I
outer
will
bay-
say also the capital is going to be secure either way.
Yeah.
Consider that as already secure, quote unquote.
But
When you're making your decision, but also this is just the first stage. After that, once that task is done, there's going to be more coming up. But this is kind of like big plot point decision. Which side are you supporting?
Well, honestly, the Seven Nobles are more logically correct because securing the entire continent's borders is basically making the decision under the impression that there isn't already a possible group or assassins or whatever that are already in the continent, which is highly unlikely. They probably already do have a base of operations in the continent somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
So rationally, it'd be better just to start from the main capital and then work your way steadily upwards. It also allows more resources to just like be a lot stronger than having him like just like spaced out. It also makes it a lot easier. So if there's a single attacking force, you have this strong front that's slowly expanding outward instead of having a somewhat frail.
You cut out Traven. You cut out. Okay, I guess you can't hear us yet.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you cut out after you said frail.
Okay, so just to sum it up, basically it's frail if you end up having all the troops on the side of the borders because if something happens anywhere in the middle. Now you're just going to have to move all the troops out. You might as well just go from the middle and then going out.
Why do we have all these Kermits?
I'm just, as you guys are talking, the Kermits are the group of 4 involving Henry and all that group, and like which territories they control. And then I'm going to be putting a different photo up for everyone else.
Okay. So yeah, like what Traven said, basically it would be a really weak front line. Regardless, if we were to just go straight onto like the edges of the continent and try to like have all.
Is that really a different picture? Because it's just Kermy again.
It is. It really is just Kermy.
Leave it alone.
So something I
wanted something
would
that
like to
wouldn't be
understand. Something I do want to understand is, so you have these 4 nobles. One thing we should, or they should actually properly do, is since these are only the 4 and this isn't the people that are in all the other territories, there should probably be some negotiations about wanting to start creating a force and solidifying borders, because otherwise, like all the other ones that are left out, they're just going to think, well, wait, why is that lord now bolstering their guard all of a sudden?
So real fast, not to really interrupt your guys' discussion too much, but if you guys want to take a look, the split up of the country, the 3 areas being Markotopia, Temple of Kermy, Irish Hall and Albrighton, and Fior are the 3 whose nobles died in the conflict. And as you see, the 4 are.
Yep.
You can see
the ones that are at the table.
We really can't tell, man. They're all Kermits.
Yeah, we totally can't. They all look the same.
Once a Kermy, always a Kermy.
So Alice is going to say, just to kind of move this forward.
Do go on.
I believe the nobles are more rational about it, pulling all resources and then leaving the center weak. That probably isn't a good idea, since there may still be assailants or enemies that are in the continent. So it'd be better to start inward and work our way outward.
Well, the capital won't be weak; it'll be strong either way. But I I just worry because we could lose a lot of people if an army comes in.
So
Well, there's
another way to
always a
think.
good chance that there's an army already here that we don't know about. So it's best to secure the interior and work our way out, pushing them away if they are here.
And Parthos kind of like looks around a little bit worried, and
This is what we replaced them with now.
he just kind of he looks at you guys and says, "So is this what you guys think is best? Are you guys putting your support with the Seven Nobles?"
Alice, because I was assuming Henry was the one who said that he's worried that people may die, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Alice kind of like speaks up a tad bit, although she's still. I'm still trying to like. She knows Henry, but obviously she isn't great at talking. So she's like, well. Another way to kind of think about this is if you are worried about the people and the lives that may be lost. Basically having or increasing the amount of security around the border of the entire continent will make all the other provinces slightly weaker, since the conflict could easily happen in the center somewhere, and then all those guards on the outskirts would then have to move inward.
So I do have a question. So you guys said that you're aligning yourself with the Seven. So now you have the option either A, you continue with it split as it is, or B, you can try and convince each person to switch over.
I would try and convince each person, honestly.
Okay.
I think it would be easiest to convince Buck Wallace to switch over.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, out of the four, it would be the easiest to switch Buck Wallace over. Simply because they are one of the interior places.
Okay, I get what you mean.
So they would be protected fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to, like, Alognia.
Yeah.
Even though Alognia is already on the side of securing from the inside and working out. Just out of curiosity, Dill, who are the closest nobles to Godwin?
He's possibly muted.
Unsure.
Unsure.
Very unsure. Yes.
Dill, art thou alive?
Art thou alive?
Is still not alive.
Are
I
thy
call an ambulance?
Are thy taking a whiz?
Guess I'm gonna call an ambulance. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see.
Let's get them ambulances.
Oh man.
Phone contacts
911.
911 and dial.
Oh, he left.
Oh.
Goodbye, Dill.
Goodbye.
Good.
Forever.
Very goodbye. Much goodbye.
Well, I guess.
Anarchy.
I guess
It's-
session's over, guys.
Anarchy.
All right, boys. That's where we're gonna end the session for tonight. We will
Oh,
see
man, that
you
was a
next
great
week.
session. Gonna invite some people.
Specifically, make sure you invite good old Harmon in here because he needs to wake up.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna wake up Harmon.
That's people.
Oh, look, he's on.
Oh, there you go.
Dylan's
Okay.
back on. Hello.
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 We ended the session. I hope you're
So
too angry.
right when you
about that.
left, we decided that every noble should just end up like fight for themselves.
Darn it. Traitor.
Really, honestly, I just rolled. I don't think it appeared yet to slaughter Henry.
Wow.
and just completely derail the campaign.
I see. This is how you treat me.
But at the moment, so Joe just asked a question if you wanted to repeat it.
I wanted to know which nobles are closest to King Godwin.
So Parthos, of course, in the southeast, is basically King Godwin's right-hand man.
Right.
Mulandus, in the south, directly below, I guess could be considered the king's left-hand man, if such an expression exists, since he was the one that facilitated the communication originally between the nobles and Godwin. Whereas
And what about Buck Wallace?
Leolis pledges his support to Godwin generally because they fought together.
So they're all buddies. They're all buddies.
That's why they all voted the same.
That's right.
Well, they do hold similar viewpoints.
We should just side with Ajar and take it down.
So here's my main concern. If we end up siding with the nobles, are the other four, which is going to be Henry, Parthos, Leolis, and Melandus, are they just going to start wanting to do their own thing?
Well,
gotta ask, don't we?
Yeah.
We have to.
Alice
So let me also say before you ask. So keep in mind a couple things. This is Henry's first decision. Godwin's going to be stepping down. So Henry, as it is, so Godwin was respected to a degree, but also feared because of his powerful combat prowess and his, military stratagem. And now that he's stepping down, the nobles don't quite know how to. I mean, they like Henry as a person, but they don't know how he is as leader. So
I imagine that he is still inexperienced. So,
So you have to consider also that whatever decision comes to tonight, that's going to define the beginning of Henry's road to being king.
Okay.
So basically, what you're saying is we either help.
What we're
him
saying
become
is we
king-
should side with Henry.
That
way he learns from this mistake.
The thing
bites
is,
him in the ass.
both of them have, I would say, equal value for different reasons. Both for knowledge that I know as a DM, and also knowledge that I know that we've had so far. Both options are valuable in their own way, and you guys just have to decide which you value more, and think about the long.
Another way I could think about this as well, for wanting to start small and then work our way outwards. That would also particularly start eliminating and start helping a lot of the few bandits that seem to be maybe causing some issues in some of the lands. Because obviously, if you're going to be building up the guard on certain borders, you're not going to be able to have bandits being able to get through certain places. A lot of the crime might start going down because of that.
I just don't see a legitimate, actual strategy that would properly involve going straight out to the border and protecting the border first. I guess I understand. Don't let another army in
Gotta
if there is
save
one
everybody.
in your already.
Gotta save everybody.
But
So let me shed a little bit more light because
even more light. Yes.
So when they're kind of following what happened when Ajar first invaded. So Ajar, in its initial invasion, had back 400 some years ago, sent an assassin to wipe out the king. It was unsuccessful in wiping out the king, but the king got paranoid. Okay. He was a lot more selfish of a king. He decided that they needed to immediately secure Rubico, and then start building out from there. Now, at that point, they had started to build out, but as they were building out, they ended up being surrounded in the middle. Because as they were trying to work on securing internally and working outwards, Ajar was already going and conquering the outers and working inwards. So the nobles are following the original strategy put out by the king at the time. The only issue is at that point, Ajar was just too fast. They were able to get in and handle things, and they were just surrounded before they could do anything. Henry and crew are trying to stop themselves from being surrounded really early on, because that's what cost them the war. So that's part of why that decision was made, because of the mistakes of the past.
I do understand.
So the reason why I'm heavily against wanting to protect the entire border, because now I'm just going to explain this a little bit more in depth. I don't see a difference when it comes to how much time it'll take, because to be able to have every single province that's on the outskirts solidify their defenses on the outward, to me that just...
The same amount of time is going to be used roughly for both.
Roughly for both, really?
So, I mean, all things considered, they're a much more united kingdom.
Even the nobles that aren't even, like even the people that aren't even here, because you still have to have negotiations with them. Talk to them,
that's going to be part of the problem, which we're going to be, solving at points.
That's another reason that I'm also now thinking that starting small, because right now we have everyone that we can to secure the 3 areas that are surrounding us at the moment. This is where we can work from, and then with the other sides that we can end up working from there. Because like right now, we don't know if those people are going to want to secure their borders or not. We may have like only 4 or 5 people want to secure the borders, and then you're leaving big open gaps for the Ajul to come through and attack. But then if you were to get all the nobles that are around us right now, you'd have a strong like triangle right there. And you have Rubu Baculentus that could easily send troops from the center out to any of those portions if troops start attacking any of them. And the same other way with any of those helping Rubu Baculenta. It's just logically to work more inward, because everyone that we have at the moment, and we have more steps that we could take because everyone is here than we would if we were trying to do the other way, and it would be a lot faster.
I mean, I agree with that.
So then my original question, so staying.
So,
if you guys are starting with the 7 nobles,
I want
to
convince.
Yeah.
I do want to try and convince, obviously, the nobles themselves. I kind of just want to use my explanation right there.
Okay. Which one are you just trying to convince?
I'm trying to get Henry, because I'm pretty sure if I convince Henry, well, because then I'm pretty sure Parthos, Helos, and Mundus are going to be a little bit more convinced to possibly do the same.
I'm going to need a persuasion roll then, along with your argument.
Okay. Well.
Okay. One sec.
Just out of curiosity, Kevin, what's your persuasion?
Let me double check here. It's 4.
All right. So if this doesn't clear, would you assist Alice?
I will attempt to, but you will not. You should not try to bank on it, because we know that bad rolls seem to happen a lot.
For curiosity's sake, go ahead and assist. I want to see what you get. Okay.
Okay then.
With your sweet, sweet words, Alice, said in that whispery voice of yours, and with the
they're so silent and unnerving, they just slip into the minds of the unwilling.
Henry considers your words for a moment, and he looks over his father. And his father doesn't give any indication of
he don't
which
give no
side he
fucks.
supports.
He's just like, I'm out of here pretty soon.
He's there for presence. And Henry kind of looks back out.
I'm waiting for my 12 o'clock wine bath.
And he just sighs, and he looks at the map for a couple minutes, and then he says, "All right, we'll try it, but we need to figure out which areas we're going to be reinforcing after Rubico."
Okay.
So say Rubico's already reinforced.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "This is him speaking, not me."
Um,
Which area will we be reinforcing next?
I would say the one that's in the bottom right.
So let's set up how many troops there are collectively, and we are going to delegate troops to location.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Traven, hope
Okay.
your experience in the military has helped you.
Yep,
So
they definitely taught me how to do military strategy on a battlefield.
Yeah.
I learned all that while I was fixing a capacitor on a jet.
I mean,
There you
they have to, honestly. It's part of their
Oh yeah,
guidelines.
it's like right on the warranty for the part I was changing. It gave me like specific instructions of how to delegate troops during wartime
Yeah.
endeavors.
Yeah.
okay, so you collectively have, as these are all of the troops, non-mercenary troops, all the troops currently employed by the Kingdom of Elaria. You have 73,000.
Oh, goodness.
That a lot.
Alright.
That's not a lot.
I mean,
I want to hear Dylan's.
That's not a lot.
Not
I
bad.
know that's definitely not a lot.
The
Because we
collective,
don't- Go ahead, Dylan.
the collective population of the kingdom is about 150,000.
Okay.
So
less than a tenth of the population. Gotcha.
and that keep in mind that's not including your 25 troops. That's also not including like just anybody else who may end up getting recruited in the meantime. These are the standing troops that you have right now.
Okay.
Within your control. So we
It's all put on us. We just sided with something and convinced people. That was it.
It's actually that's actually it just validates our reasoning even more because if you have that many troops at the moment, how the fuck are you gonna try and cover an entire continent?
Put one at every mile, man.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, assuming every single race can see exactly.
Hey,
what
Bill, you see anything? No. Keep looking, but it's dark. I don't care. Boss's orders.
Yep, like that.
okay. So let's start with Rubrico. How many troops are we placing in Rubrico
Well,
in that section of area?
how big is Rubico again? Can you give us a rough estimate?
Rubrico is about 100 miles wide.
Okay.
Um,
And the city, I presume to be like only like 20.
sorry, I should have said that section of land owned by the king is 100 miles wide.
Yeah.
The city itself is about 2 miles wide.
Oh,
We have 16 separate areas, correct?
based on what we see here, yeah.
So I have a
Wait,
question
no,
though. Is
this
that how many troops in general at the moment, or like in these? And we're just not told the number of troops that are in each area.
I can give you the number of troops in each area if you'd like.
I would.
That could kind of help a little,
Okay.
actually.
Just give me like 2 minutes to like type everything out.
Mostly, like for now, just the ones that are around us
Yeah.
at the moment.
So I would say that we would probably put like at least a solid amount in Rubico, like maybe like 8,000 of them here at least.
Is that
Maybe
also
more.
counting the defenses in the capital? Because I'm assuming the capital, because they even said it, and you even said it, so you solidified it. It's already secure.
That's including all. That's including all of them. Hold on.
Oh. There's 11,000 for something.
Oh, we're gonna okay. So 11,000.
So there 1,000 of those cannot be moved anywhere else. That's the only place with a contingency. 1,000 of those are essentially the guards of Rubico.
Okay.
Not like, and I should say the guards of the castle and the borders.
We gotta protect the volcano.
Yeah, the volcano.
Gotta
Especially.
protect that volcano.
That dormant volcano will be our
I
secret
do feel
weapon.
that we should start from a corner and work our way out. Obviously, going in the center isn't really the most logical way of doing this.
You sure?
Yeah. Look at that, 32,000.
32,000 on Dralagia.
Just in Dralagia. Just.
Just Dralagia. Yeah. That island, where there's like literally nobody on there, except for Dragonborn. But even then.
And then we just need Buck
Out
Wallace.
of the 73,000,
Well, you have to keep in mind
43,000 of them are Dragalia and Rubicobas.
keep in mind that Parthos is essentially the military might of the kingdom.
It just happens to be in one of the corners of the world, of the continent.
Well, that's where he went. He's essentially a military. He is the general of everything. So that is like if people get
That is his title, General of Everything.
if people get special training, then they go to Dralagia. Dralagia is where all of the royal guards come from.
So that just gives me more reason to want to go there first. They would be able to send out troops, and they probably can solidify their borders faster than every other separate. What should we call it? Provinces. So that just gives me another reason. They're in a corner. They're literally the center of military might.
Yeah. I mean,
And 5,000 Snaresville. Okay, yeah, we could just even out those troops. I am just full on with as the least amount of sides that we'd have to worry about. So that way, if there's any issue in one separate continent, we can have another continent, or not continent, province.
Man,
if there's an issue in a province, then we can just have one of the other provinces send troops to either fortify or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, it's gotta really fucking suck for the guards that are at Vatican. Probably just chilling near some outposts on the mountains.
Yeah, to have them relocate or something. Oh.
Well, they're inside the mountains, not outside.
Oh, they're inside? Okay, good.
That's the Dwarven Kingdom, and Vodkagrad is the Automaton Kingdom.
Okay. So 32,000 there, 11,000 there, 5,000 there. So I really would like to know, like, how, like, obviously you can't answer this. Just how many fucking troops, like, they're just gonna send at this continent, to be fair. Because if we're having to portion out troops and then separately, like, in all these different areas, like, I could be like, oh yeah, like 8,000 here and there, that's good, and then you'll send like a force of 90,000 people, and I'm like,
yep. So something big is going to happen, that's for certain. I don't like that.
Summon an army of the undead. Fucking kill them.
Too bad we never saw the end of that. God damn it.
Sad.
I was looking forward to it, but alas.
Oh, Oku was gonna get real big and strong. Fjord only has 1,000. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what kind of people they are.
Everybody's there trucked up. They don't need anybody.
They literally do not care. Plus, they have the forest to defend them. They literally don't need to do anything.
They're just chilling in the forest, smoking that dope forest.
Keep in mind
weed.
also these forces are generally these are set up by the people in the like the people running these areas.
You think
so? Like this isn't like mandated, of course, by the king.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this is what the lords of each said land is like, allocating.
100.
Man.
If I was in charge, like, if I was a king on a continent, I literally would just make it a law saying all provinces that are on the outskirts of my continent, you will have a minimal number of troops on the borders at all times. Like, it logically just makes sense to prepare against any fight.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Because now if I was invading this continent, I would just go to the one that has the least amount of troops.
Middle of D&D.
But they know,
Yeah, you're not going to have time tonight. We can find some other time this week.
Poor Brian.
Like
Poor
they're
Brian.
just gonna think and be like, "Oh,
Well,
try
so
and invade
you also have to keep in
Snyderville?"
mind that Godwin's been kind of kept in deadlock because
Actually,
it's a joint oligarchy / monarchy.
Yeah. Is there
So.
a name for this place over here in the top left corner? This like Relin and Ishtal. Like, is there anything here? Like name?
Those are each place doesn't have
What's
its own
that
name.
small 11,000 in the ocean right now?
It's 11,000
ignore
Aquaman.
that.
It's Aquaman. What do you expect?
Should I ignore that?
I was trying to type the
ignore that?
11,000 for Rubrico, but
I don't know. Maybe it's 11,000 people from Ajar ready to strike at
All
the
changed when the
weekend.
Fire Nation attacked.
Yes.
Man. But yeah, like if they have people already inside, they're just gonna figure out which province is the most lax and start there.
I don't know. Would they know?
Fior.
I
Actually, no, they'd be
the
going
most
for fucking Isrenhall because Isrenhall only has 300.
They may only have 300, but I'm sure the ones in Fior are much more lax than the ones in...
You're not wrong.
Here's my thing: who are the people that are in Fior technically? Those are the
elves.
Elves.
That's where a lot of
that's probably
elves
their landscape. So they probably know this forest in and out. The only drawback to being in a forest is that all they have to do is set it on fire.
That's part of why they have such a small military force, is because of their force. If you remember, you needed to be led in. Without being led in, it's difficult for people to make it through.
And
Or just light on fire, then you
1,000
don't
troops.
need to be let in.
And then you have Isrenhall, and then Isrenhall is 300. It just feels like Isrenhall is getting really shafted.
I mean the leader for Irishhall also is dead. So
Yeah, they're really getting shafted.
so
And
all right, so this is the current numbers of everywhere.
okay.
Everywhere.
So and keep in mind 73,000 total. Almost
So,
half of which is
This
one.
3,000 also cover the other part, like that weird line that was drawn there. It doesn't actually exist anymore. Does it
Correct.
exist again?
Are you talking about that black like squiggle line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
The-
it's like Harcliff has 1,000, and then this bottom area has 3,000.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
what you mean. That's
sorry, those are separate areas, but Cordeldrum and Teledor are part of the same area.
you could try and erase this black line then, Dill, if you could. Or...
I can't. There's no erase tool. It's
Alright.
either clear all drawings or nothing.
Click it, and then hit backspace.
I mean, I was gonna say like, all right, roll 20. You guys got
Click
a
it
great
and do
system.
backspace. That's how you delete.
Okay, what we can do is give me 1 minute here.
Like I'll do this.
Get that off my screen.
But
I
then, like,
can't. It's permanent, Dill.
Permanent. We can't do anything about that.
yeah, I can't get rid of it anymore.
Wow, Kevin, I like it.
But then we just
It
move
makes
it, and then
it
boom,
makes it
you
even
get rid
more
of it.
pronounced.
So then, hold on, let me see if I.
Trump built a wall there.
Damn.
Yeah, Dill, you can just click it and then hit backspace like I was doing.
Well, the thing is that since it's connected to other things, it'll delete a lot of pieces, or possibly all of
You
it.
can't just select
Nope.
like that portion. You
Nope.
fucked yourself. You played yourself.
I mean, I'm not. The reason I haven't fixed it is because I'm going to be changing to a different map service. So
No excuses.
No
I
excuse.
mean, it is an excuse. I didn't have an excuse up until a couple of weeks ago.
GG.
Okay,
but,
so regarding these troops, because I do want to keep this going.
Mhm.
So are we just gonna? Can we just tell Chesterfield to solidify their forces? Because honestly, I'm not fucking worried about anything with the military might continent at the moment with 32,000 fucking troops. I probably will ask them to maybe give, because we need like a strong center, because I don't want to sparse out all troops, like make it, every place has 10. I would like a center continent to have more troops than the others, so in case of an issue they can send troops.
So let me also say real fast that since you've convinced everyone's kind of on your side. You have free range to move troops where you need. So if you have, like, don't feel like you have to keep the whatever troops are there. Like, you can move them wherever. It's free range, basically.
Okay. So here's my question.
Chicken.
Joel, where is the continent? Like, is it on
Ajar?
top? Is it? Yeah, sorry, Ajar. Is Ajar north of us?
It's to the
South of us? Northeast? Okay, we should probably solidify the portion that's northeast. Not obviously throw every troop northeast, just there's a good
portion.
Percentage.
A good portion.
Yes.
E-
Because as a strategy, it would be less efficient to just try and get a boat and go on the opposite side of the continent and then attack from there. Mostly because if you're moving troops, that huge number of troops, they're gonna get noticed.
They might take multiple ships though, and have like only 300 troops on each of them.
That would take forever.
But
That
they
would literally take
probably
forever.
would be willing to do it,
And if the way that Dill wants to do ocean travel, like going that kind of distance, that's not even a week. That's a month or two.
I mean, again, it's something that they could be doing,
If they want to do small portions, that means they're going to do small portions every few months. So
I don't know, man. The enemy might be way smarter than we're making it out to be.
Well, we have the person who's going to be figuring out what the enemy's doing while he's hearing how we discuss this. So
No, let me.
what we should be doing is kick Dylan out of Skype again.
Yeah, let me lay your fears to rest. Regardless of what you do, I already have set what's happening, and I'm not diverging from that course. Whether what you do ruins all of my plans or not, like I'm not going to change it.
I really don't trust that island that's in the very top right. It's a little too pointy, in my opinion.
And then you realize that it opens up and there's just a giant eye.
Oh, yep. We're fighting a beholder right now, guys. All right, have fun.
It's a gigantic beholder.
A beholder larger than Rubrica Basilensis.
Yes, and that's why it's terrifying. It's like fighting the moon.
It shoots like a death ray and it just cuts the continent in half. Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Oh, no.
So this is how I do want to start troops, because since we want to work small. So right now our right side is like just completely fortified. It's fine. There's plenty of troops. So I kind of want to lower that amount of number. You guys throw in your opinions here as well, because this is mostly just going off of what I think should probably do. We have 5,000 on our bottom left. We have 32,000 on our bottom right. I feel like we should maybe move about 5,000 troops from Chesterfield, go into Snyderville to make that 10,000. And then from there, slowly start pushing to the left, because there's just less areas that we have to fortify if we went into the opposite direction. Because that way we only have 2 areas on that side. If we go up north, we're going to have all the dat.
All the dat.
And my main thing about this is I'm trying to secure a big portion that is just surrounded by ocean. I don't want to start branching off in the middle, and then as they were worried about was have troops and surround that portion from all sides. If we are able to secure one side of the continent, then we can start going from there.
Also,
it sounds like you're not necessarily
of
starting in the center. You're kind of just choosing a side and building from there.
We'll choose the side, and then we're going to start pushing after we solidify this one side. There's also the most troops are on this side, so like in bigger areas.
I mean,
let me hear your thoughts a little bit on this, Joe and Kevin.
I would agree with that. Simply because building out from the center is definitely gonna it could trap the troops like they were afraid of. Though I doubt it would, because I personally would just take the troops that are there, solidify the troops that are unnecessary, move out, solidify, move out, solidify, move out.
We would obviously make it so there's only one portion we have to worry about. Cut it off so that way there's only land that we have to worry about. We're not trying to worry about 3 sides of land that we're getting attacked on. If we have just one side, we're always going to have to worry about an attack from the north
So I do
despite
see what you're
built from
saying.
the center.
Yeah.
We'd have to worry about attacks from north-south, or sorry, northwest and east. So it's smarter and more rational to build from this side, so we only have to worry about attacks from the north.
Okay.
If they get on land, like
So,
it.
Traven,
Yeah.
are you doing the Tregalia, Snyderville, and the last one on the end there,
Those two of them.
and then moving north?
Yep.
Okay.
What about Dormandor?
Yeah, like the bottom.
Yeah,
Like,
Well,
I said
that's
both.
what the last one as well. I didn't know if that was Dormandor or
Yeah,
Hazerville.
Dormandor is the bottom
they're,
left
like,
one.
The same. Like,
I mean, I imagine
yeah.
those are the names of like the cities. There.
What we actually
Yeah.
do, you guys are cool with this, is since we have this huge amount of troops in Dragalagia, overall, I was just going to portion out troops. So then 32, that would be like 27,000. If we were to take 5,000. So take that 5,000, move it over to Snyderville. And then once we have 10,000 in Snyderville, I then want to take about 3,000 and then move that to Dormandor.
Huh. Okay.
So that way they have 4,000, 5,000, 5,000. And then steadily from there, we'll start building, we're sending more and more troops. And then start pushing forward.
This is under the assumption that they're going to be attacking soon, though. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. Just it's better than like, oh, we should send troops to Buckwallis, then Vakengard, then Cormandrum, then Telendor, then Hartcliffe, then Istal. It's just better to do it from one solid side. Because the ocean, like no matter what province or way we do this, they could attack from any side from the ocean. We literally can't do anything about that. But what we can do is secure the ground that we're actually on. So to get the strategic advantage with that, we just need to take one side and then work our way from that side. Because you can't get surrounded if literally you control the other three sides.
So I just updated it. So you put 5,000 in Snyderville area, and you put 3,000 in Dormandor, correct?
Well, I was doing like a steady thing because I'm assuming like all this isn't going to happen overnight.
You know, yeah, I know. I'm just keeping track of everything. So you're down to 24,000 in Dralagia.
Yep. How do you guys feel? You think that maybe we should make more troops? Like, should we have more troops in the back of the southern portion of these provinces, and then kind of leave the north more open? Like, just not have like obviously a ridiculously low number of troops, but have more numbers in the back, so that way we could send troops if we need to.
I feel like the idea of sending troops should be unnecessary. We should try and even it out equally.
See, that's kind of what I'm worried about with equaling out troops, because
I mean, I don't mean completely equaling out.
But
Large continents should have more troops.
like proportionally, they should each have like a definite amount of troops for each province based on the size of it, of course.
Yeah, but
I
necessary.
also feel it should be based on how many sides they're surrounded on as well. The ocean's fair game, so that doesn't count. But obviously, like the continents that we have in the back, you can kind of, now that since we have now control and we're solidifying those boundaries, it's not as huge of a threat. And then we would just slowly work our way from there. But as long as we're building, like, as long as we're just going north and we're not going like all over the place, then I'm really game for whatever you guys feel as well.
Gotta put pause for one moment. You hear an advisor comes in quickly and comes over to King Godwin and Henry and whispers something to them. And Godwin walks over to Parthos and whispers in Parthos' ear, and you see him kind of wince a little bit. And Godwin says, well, we just have received word that the town of Pilgrim's Refuge was recently destroyed.
Oh no!
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Oh man!
No!
Not like we technically just played 4 weeks prior to all of this.
We didn't know though, Joe. We didn't.
So where is
know.
Pilgrim's Refuge?
It's on the
It's-
far right, man.
Yep, directly to the east of Rubrica.
East of Rubrica. Oh, okay.
My goodness.
Hell yeah.
My goodness. We are done.
So then Parthos is just like, fuck, not my province.
So
Yeah.
So basically, our planning is not going to work now. We gotta really
Well, hold on. I don't want to say that because it still has the most troops.
Oh, give me 1 minute, guys. Yeah.
You good?
I think he's on the phone.
Okay.
Eat. Alright, time to start up civilization.
Boy.
Gotta get every minute of playtime in that I can. Why has this not updated to the current date and time? Wonder why this is fucking weird. You're connected to the internet. You should know this shit. Eastern time. Yay. 11 p.m. Yay. Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
So Dylan.
Yeah.
If that's the case, and they just heard that Pilgrim's Refuge, have troops already been sent there then?
Well, Parthos is going to be sending some some of the remaining troops there.
Okay.
So.
Is there
Okay.
any word on what exactly who made the attack?
The only word, well, the thing is, so a traveling salesman had come to Pilgrim's Refuge and had found it destroyed, burnt to the ground with dead bodies everywhere with no sign of anyone alive.
Oh boy.
They had went and transferred the information through some various channels to make it to
The
the
king.
king. Well, just specifically a Parthos, but the king as well. So
Okay.
nobody knows who led the attack on Pilgrim's Refuge, or how large the force was, or if there's anyone alive with them.
So I have a
How
question.
How large was
With-
the force from our other characters, just out of curiosity?
No.
So my main question is, obviously we fought all women before, right?
You got your group right now, this current group. The last time you played did fight against a group of women assassins, yes.
Okay, is the continent that we're fighting, are they mostly just women in power, or is that just...
Ugh.
No,
That's my
they're not
main-
specifically women in power. This was just a strike force.
Oh, okay, then yeah.
Well, I
Definitely investigate that.
Well, so I mean, like you don't. The problem is nobody really knows like what Ajar's been up to.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. It's a separate continent.
But I'm just saying, like out of game,
Haven't
like they're
really-
not just a full country of women. You know.
Yeah, I understand. Well, obviously Pilgrim's Refuge definitely get investigated. However, I don't want to assume that was them. Obviously, like they're kind of organized. Well, actually, I don't know any of that, so I can't even say anything about that.
Yeah,
So
you can only work with the. Like
I can
two
only work
substances
at the knowledge
just
of
days ago.
Alice. Yeah. So that should probably get investigated because they're just going to be assuming.
That is going to be investigated.
Okay.
By Parthos.
I'm still not too worried about that though, because that's still the most troops. So that's not a big thing with me, because that'd be really weird if there was a continent with that many troops and military division and they aren't strict. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Mm,
Unless it's in favor of that, but all logic
Um,
says that shouldn't be like that.
I mean, no, they're strict.
Well, going off the history of the land, Pilgrim's
Yeah.
Refuge is one of the places where a lot of the people from the prior war went and settled, correct?
Ye-
Mhm. Yes.
So it would make sense that if it were to get attacked, that Ajar would attack there and take the people from there that dislike the rule of this kingdom, and start to work towards building an army.
Keep in
So
mind you don't
weird.
know
Why
that
would-
information though.
Yeah, even then though, that just sounds
Within
so
the
weird to me.
confines of this session, you have to work with.
We're going to
Well,
attack.
no, I'm just saying in general,
We're going to
as a
attack and
military
kill
tactic,
people.
it would make sense that if Ajar were the people who attacked, that is where they would start, simply because those are people who moved there from the prior war. Granted, it was 400 years ago, but I mean,
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
just drop off.
I mean, 400 years ago.
Believe 400 years in our time is completely different than 400 years in their time.
But I'm gonna assume that most people that are in Pilgrim's Refuge were human, right?
Well, it
I
was
mean,
of
there were a
varying
lot
races.
of humans, but there are varied races. Yeah.
I still really, I don't know if that is the way it's supposed to do it. But again, the logic there doesn't really it isn't too sound to me. Because at the same way, they could also attack any of the other continents, and if they really wanted to go at it with getting people to join their army, and just for an invasion of sorts, why would they attack the continent with the most amount of troops? Why would they kill them?
How do they know
obviously they
how many
do it.
troops are in a continent? How do they know the actual
Assassins.
lines of,
Our borders and such.
yeah, our borders? We don't know anything about them. How do they know anything about us?
Yeah, well, because they would just have spies, which could be also in that same logic and anywhere else. It's weird. It's weird. But that's all stuff we don't really know or can even give a definite answer about. But for right now, Pilgrim Refuge is gone. It's up in smoke.
Here's a good meme right here. Does a 20 hit on an enemy with 10 AC? Yes or
Yeah.
no? Yes or no?
Yes.
I know what picture you're talking about. I think. Okay, so what are we doing with the rest of these troops first?
Okay.
At
So
this,
let's see.
equalize it all out. Communism at its finest.
I would just slowly start moving up. I still want to kind of pump. I do want to do what they were talking about with equalizing some, obviously not all though. I do want to keep one area that's probably the most secure with the most amount of troops, so they could,
So you just
if
want
there is an issue.
Do you want to leave the numbers as is, basically? Because that is what it seems like. Because if you say you want to push from north from the south, it's like, you know, maybe we don't need to worry too much about the number of troops anywhere in the north.
Mhm.
So,
Because it's from what the reason why I like having the troops in the back and then having to send more front is because we don't know how many troops are actually going to attack a given province.
yeah.
So in that same idea, we might as well just throw all the troops in the front. That's bad logic, of course. So the safest way to go about all this is to have a good number of troops in the forward border and then keep troops in the back. So that way, when there's any given force that ends up attacking, you could just disperse the troops to that given location. Because obviously you don't know where they'll attack and you don't know how many will attack. So it's better just to like have a good number and then keep a bunch of troops in the back.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't really say like from the ocean side because the ocean's fair game. They can attack from anywhere in the ocean. The thing about that though is that more than likely word will come across because there isn't just going to be like 100,000 ships. Like people will notice that stuff.
I don't know, man. Word kind of takes a while to get around.
That'll change when the Fire Nation attacked.
Every time.
But that's just my main thing. I I do feel like we should have an area where there's a bunch of troops, and we should have a good number of troops surrounding that area. So that way, if there's any given conflict we have, like we can just send the rest of the troops. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I do want to say probably move 2,000 troops from Snyderville that we just had. Move that to Dormandor, so they'll have 6,000.
Okay.
Move you farther. Okay.
Since I do like kind of having that a little bit more equalized.
All in favor?
I mean, I guess, yeah, that could work.
And then that extra 6,000, if there's any issue, you could throw 1,000 for extra support, and then having the center. I'm really like.
You also have
to
consider how long it'll take for troops to get to a location.
At least
that's why I'm actually.
Well, I'm talking about like when you're sending troops out, kind of thing.
That's why I want to keep an extra 1,000 on there, so that way if there is, they could send 1,000 troops for relief while you're waiting for the big boy.
So you want to put them in reserves right now? Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's just like how the real military does it. Keep a lot of them in reserves, never use them.
Rationale. Because you never know what's going to happen. And it's better, instead of going crazy because you don't know what's going to happen, you just stay rational and be like, okay, your move.
Checkmate, your move.
Checkmate, your move. What move? I just lost.
I can't do anything
your
now.
Move.
Your move. Keep moving.
Your move. How do you guys feel about any of that? Because I'm mostly.
You seem to like have a good idea of like where you.
Well, it's not about if I have a good idea. It's if do you think something should be more reinforced? Do you want to do the whole equalizing thing, and then we'll just take that 24,000 and start trying to equalize it between the lands that are in the south?
I'm honestly not too sure as to why they would try to attack in the southeast either right now, because like, is Chesterfield is that considered a desert right now? No.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, is it basically a desert right there, though?
Well,
yeah, it is a large desert. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know. It'd be pretty hard for them to move through that in general. So I don't know if we need to have as many troops manned over there, to be honest.
I'm going to to temporarily put you on pause for a minute or two in terms of making decisions. I want to see what Joe and Kevin come to, and you can chime in occasionally, but take the back seat for a moment, kind of see what they say.
Yeah.
I got put in the corner.
Yeah. Dunce cap on ya, boy.
No dunce cap.
I got put in the corner.
But Joe and Kevin,
so
let's hear.
I'm doing research.
What are you doing research on?
Military tactics.
Okay. I mean,
that's
for
cheating.
Locations.
Thinking about this a little bit, because taking terrain into account, I imagine that Chesterfield, Fior, and Rococo will all be, well, and there's also like, is it Neversnow? Is that what the province is up there, or is that Malognia?
Like that, the provinces don't have like a generalized name,
Okay,
but I mean, you could just use Neversnow for that.
Sure, I'll just name Northwest or something like that. So those
Never snow, never winter.
Those four corners, each of them have some very, very heavy terrain, like the desert, the very dense forest that you could potentially get lost in anyways. Just the bare fact that there's snow in the northwest, and then Rococo is basically a swamp environment, very humid, not a great place to to trench forward. So I don't want to imagine that they would want to try to attack from those certain areas, but keeping in a few troops here and there would be nice. So I'm thinking like, if we can allocate maybe take off maybe another 4,000 troops from Chesterfield, and then reallocate maybe like 1,000 into all Irish Hall, Irishol, yeah,
Okay.
up northeast. Take another 1,000, put him in, what is that, Jalurdis? How the fuck is it?
Jolundus.
Jalundis, okay. Yeah, put in another 1,000 there,
Okay.
and then we have 2,000 left. Because they're probably going to attack from the northeast regardless. And then I'd say we put put another 1,000 back in Jelundus, and then the other 1,000 in Relin or Istol. Yeah. I want to reinforce those a little bit so that they can stall for time should they attack up there, and then we can move more troops up to those areas. That's what
Okay.
that's what I would want to do right there.
All right.
Besides that, I don't know. Like Traven had said before, like having a large surplus of troops in the south will make it very hard to even break through for them. So it'd probably be a waste of time for them to even attack the south. Hopefully, through sheer intimidation. So making the northeast the most weakest, quote unquote. They'll probably be attacking there. We have like troops from Buckwallis and Chesterfield to move up north to like reinforce it should they attack. That's my 2 bits.
Is there anything else you want to do with this, Kevin?
I mean, if we had more than just 73,000 troops, maybe, but no.
Well, you do have 73,025.
Sure, put the 25 in Rubica. We don't need them to defend our keep. No one's going to attack that.
I don't know.
Make the children fight.
Yes.
Now, Joe, it's on you. What do you want to make any changes to what you see? Anything you want to say?
I mean, so Everlast.
Yeah.
What happened in Everlast?
So Everlast, back in the when Godwin led the revolution, Everlast was destroyed on part of Godwin bonding with his weapon, the sword that he got from Cthulhu / Kermi, and the town was entirely destroyed and left with a bunch of craters as explosions went off. So think of it as a bunch of craters that used to be a town.
Is that like what happened with Henry? They're just like, is there just some spot they don't talk about where when he bonded with the sword, it's gone now?
No.
Not yet. So that is an idea as well, because if you notice, Everlast is one of the locations where a major battle happened, though it was the last time the Dajar attacked, or the revolution. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I don't know. Do you think they would try and attack the same place twice? I mean, it would probably make sense for the fact that like it's weak and we would.
it's deserted.
It's deserted.
Legitimately deserted. So nobody's there. Nobody would necessarily be like, "Oh man, we gotta go secure Everlast because all those people are there." That is literally the sarcastic joke that they would be saying. Forget about it.
Open holes, everybody.
Yeah, and who's to know what has been done there? Because I'm sure not a lot of people venture there for any reason whatsoever.
I mean, there could be archaeologists and some wild adventurers who go there just to find like possible like hidden loot. Just saying.
So also something to note with why I may be putting some troops in Snyderville and why I kind of put a good number there. So in compared to the distances between all the other provinces, Snyderville is right in the middle, so you'd have the same amount of time. Just saying.
I guess, but then like where are we gonna technically? Because Snyderville, like the whole province, is a really big province. second largest, and like you have to figure out where you would want to put all 8,000 troops at, because I don't imagine you want to set them all in like one town or anything either.
So something to probably look is like, so we have 20,000 in Chesterfield. Let's say there's an attack in Recrico or Darrenmore, whatever the fuck. Dormander.
No. Like what I mean is like we like want to like congregate them in like little towns here and there too, because we can't have all 8,000 stay at like Frachtfallen or like what the hell is that Miblele or Piacor.
Oh no, that's a given. What I'm meaning is if there's an attack that's in any of the other provinces or locations, we have one spot that's able to delegate troops, and it's the equal amount of distance between all of the provinces. So that way, it's not going to be like, oh, well, they're getting attacked over here, and we have all our troops over here. It's going to take like a month for all those troops to get over there.
Yeah,
like
I get you.
Because that's another aspect to this. Is how fast, when the fight arises, can we delegate the troops?
Dylan, can we just have some teleportation magic? Can we just have that?
Honestly, because magic's in this world, a lot of this is kind of pointless. This is just covering the logical side of it, but they really could just open a rift in the middle of the continent and send thousands of troops through.
Yeah, well, considering that something of that level is near godlike,
it's going to require plenty of sacrifices. Let's say that.
That's basically impossible.
We have a
Just
god.
ask Kermit.
Yeah, exactly. We have a god on our side.
I don't know. If you just have like a third or fourth level, they could teleport people. And then you just gotta have one magic user per person. Just keep teleporting.
Keep just dimension dooring across the
dimension. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but the issue is like with how magic is balanced in the game. Like it would be so much better just to walk 250 feet compared to using dimension dooring, for example.
Yeah.
So like teleportation is not really something anyone has.
What if they have a god on their side? This is all semantical anyway.
I guess it's possible.
What if their god's like, hey, no, fuck you, fuck your god, I'm gonna help these guys kill your god. And then they just, yeah.
I mean, you also have to consider that you do have gods in your area. So, like,
who's the
Kirby don't
gods
give a
they
fuck.
have,
yeah, Kirby
are
does
they
not
going
give
to
two
mess with
shits
the
with
gods?
He doesn't give
here?
two shits.
Kirby's
Literally,
not
he
the
won't
only
care.
god here.
He won't care until, well, yeah, that is fair. He isn't the only god, but still, he's the only one that can actively do something at the moment. Because Dylan knows what I'm meaning.
And the minor god that Harmon is like forced to like preach about now, she really can't do anything on this scale.
Oh, and then there's another god that I know about, but he can't really.
Well, there's
do
also like 4 main gods as well, if you guys recall.
Nope.
anything. I don't
You
know.
know. Oh my gosh. You know the names of like some of the months in the calendar.
What?
No.
Nope.
We've talked about this, like Nufani, that you've actually met.
Oh, new funny.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Funny.
Yeah.
I know her. I know her.
Zenlock,
at least.
Iman, Irito.
Kirito?
Yurito. Shut the fuck up.
I think he said Kirito. It's
think he
okay.
did
I got you.
Anyways, Joe, do you want to? Are you changing any of these troop numbers?
I have no need to. I think. I mean.
I'm going after Joe. I'm going to open the floor again for one final time for troop numbers. But first, if you want to change any of these, Joe, now's your time to do so. Before I mean, I guess you have more opportunity as well. But
I mean, would this be the final set numbers?
if nobody contests it in the next round, then yes.
Ooh.
Okay. I think we take 700 from Dralakia and move it also to Ishral. That way we have an even 2,000 across the front at a minimum.
Might as well take that the remaining 300 and put it at Jalundus.
Yeah, we could do that.
Now I don't want to look at Draghi anymore. That's a weird number.
Then take
19,000?
Then take 1,000 from
There we go.
from Snyderville and
That's better.
I would say another 1,000, 2,000. One for Harcliffe and the other for Fior. That way we have a
And
general.
you're taking
2,000.
that from like Chesterfield?
Yeah, that as well.
Mm-hmm.
we have dwindled the numbers, man. We have dwindled the numbers.
That way we have at least an even 2,000 amongst everybody.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
At an absolute minimum. Because I feel like that would be a decent fighting force, regardless.
So, is there anything else you want to do during your round, Joe?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. So now it's open to everyone. Is there anything else you guys would like to do with these troop numbers? And now's your time.
I like to
If you
have
guys
all the
wanna
troops. I like to have all the troops congregate in Rubico and just call it a day.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to change any of these numbers, now's the time to do so. And maybe Traven, you feel that you want something else changed, or one of you other two want something else changed.
Nay. Nay.
I'm happy with it as the way it is.
Could we take 1,000 from Rubico and move that to Rococo?
Yeah, we can. Is everyone fine with that?
I mean, sure.
I guess.
Can we just get another 100,000 troops to work with, though?
Magically, 100,000 troops just comes walking out of a portal into the room, just starts walking through, exiting the room, going out into the place.
See,
Go
I
on,
told
wherever
you.
Go.
I told you they could.
No,
Told you.
can't get another 100,000 troops.
We
Damn
can
it.
make 100,000 troops.
Oh.
Shuffles hands.
Oh. I see where you're going. With the deck of many things, still.
It's okay. I don't think there's anything that he's set up thus far that us either doing or not doing will completely destroy his campaign.
Yeah, no,
So
I
I
really
think
don't think so
right
either.
now is a good time to
Hey
implement.
guys, do you think we should just keep digging into the ground until we find the Tarask? I think we
Yeah.
should.
Yeah,
and then use
tame-
magic to force it into.
Wake it up.
Yeah, let's tame it and
You can't
Our-
conquer a continent that's already destroyed. I'm kind of iffy about some things, but I'm just being a little.
If you guys
I'm just
wanna-
being too cautious. So I'm
if you
fine.
guys want to change anything, this is your final time to change troop numbers.
we probably shouldn't overthink too much about this.
I'm more worried about securing one side than I am about trying to disperse out all the other provinces because that doesn't make any sense to do it that way. So I'm fine with it.
Okay, cool. I'll agree.
Oh,
Suddenly, the Fire Nation attacks. They're
I guess
attacking
it's good
from the
that
south.
Harmon missed this session because he would not have enjoyed this session.
Mm.
So, you guys finish allocating troops, and the different nobles kind of talking amongst themselves, and
They say
begin to-
no, and everybody goes to Rubico.
it's like, all right, here we go again.
Send all troops to Rubico.
everyone kind of begins dispersing out, with the exception of Melandus, Parthos, Godwin, and Henry. And Godwin stands up and claps Henry on the shoulder, nods, and looks at the group of you and says, my original offer still stands. If you continue kind of helping out these provinces, I will pay you for them. I understand you're on your way to the Temple of Kermi. Is that still true?
Yes.
I almost kind of think that we should start doing it a bit differently now.
What do you mean?
Such in the way that we have allocated our troops, or the troops. I believe we should also work from the bottom up, relieving the stress and problems of each individual area and working forward. If we can.
Yeah, we will.
Rather than going to the Temple of Kermi, even though that was our set plan.
Do you feel like we should just try and
So, Dill, is Temple of Kermi lore and story and D&D campaign reasons why we going there? Or is it just, oh yeah, Temple of Kermi?
That you guys just chose it. I mean, there lore and everything like that there, yeah. But there's that in each province. There's either A, story-related reasons, B, fun/interesting mechanic-related reasons, or C, both.
Yes.
I want to go to
Or
Hardcliffe
D,
and dig a hole.
absolutely no reason to be there at all.
Set everything on fire.
Or actually, I mean, yeah. So those are the things. So you don't have to go to the Temple of Kerm if you don't want. You're welcome to say your course. You're welcome to change the course.
Kermi will now look down upon us and come in and troll us every 10 minutes now.
Blessed by the frog.
Damn. Somebody roll, what is it, religion? Yeah, somebody roll religion. Get Kermi in here.
Pray to the frog.
I personally think, with the way we allocated the troops, we should go and assist the issues that are ailing Chesterfield first.
Isn't that what our characters are for?
I don't know about our other characters. They don't exist.
Yeah, Trey, go with the book.
No, I'm saying that for Dill. I want us to do that.
You can
Let
go
us
wherever
do
you
it.
want. Because keep in mind,
I
your Pilgrim's Refuge
can
characters.
go anywhere.
Your Pilgrim's Refuge characters are captured at this point.
We don't know where, though, is the problem. So, great.
In a different continent.
Who knows? They could have been taken into the Forest of Fior. They could have been taken to Buckwallace. They could have been taken to
They
Snyderville.
could have been taken to the volcano.
And so
They
we
could've.
pick up and never snow.
Oh my god.
Aww.
We've been knocked out for a whole month. How does this even
Whole month. Wow.
So,
But
you guys talk amongst yourselves to finalize where you guys want to go and talk about that. I'm going to go to the restroom real fast, so.
No, you're not allowed.
so I think we should all go to the volcano.
That sounds like a good idea. Chesterfield it is. Let's go and
I like
investigate
the volcano. Yeah, I want to look at the volcano.
I think we should deal with Chesterfield and figure out their issues and help them relieve
Are
them.
we going to Arizona first?
Yes.
Okay.
Discount Arizona, here we come.
So
Yes.
go Arizona, then I guess look at Pilgrim's Refuge.
Yeah.
Then what?
Look at Pilgrim's Refuge idea, because I might want to validate is if that was from them or not. It could be a random group.
I don't know, Traven. They might not even be there, to be honest.
No, not that. It's just you can find small remnants, things that might give it away.
I don't know.
You can't say there isn't, just as you can say there is.
How long does it take to get to Pilgrim's Refuge, though? Like maybe a week, maybe a little bit longer?
I mean, how long will it take to get to Arizona and then get to Chesterfield and all those?
I mean, Arizona's a lot closer.
But obviously, we're probably not just
I
going
would
to
say
stick around.
a lot closer.
It is
It's
a lot.
closer.
Not
It's
really.
Closer in general, but it's not a ton closer.
It
It's
is
not.
You want to
It's
Kevin,
a
if you want to
lot.
compare, so logically speaking, if you wanted to compare the difference, the distance between where Arizona is, and then I know that we're not just going to be in Arizona. You're going to want to go to around where Chesterfield is. Literally, Pilgrim's Refuge is closer.
No, we are not going to Pilgrim's Refuge. I refuse to
It
go
is
there.
closer.
No.
I will. I'm also going to. If you guys are going to try and go Pilgrim's Refuge, I'm going to shut that down now.
Thank
Because
you.
I'm not having your characters try and investigate what happened to the other.
See, that's what I
characters.
was gonna say. Like, were you gonna actually let us go there? That's what I asked.
That's why I said
mean,
no. It's clearly not.
Well, but if you want to go to the southeast, like that area, like Parthos area, I mean, I'll let you go anywhere besides Pilgrim's Refuge. Pilgrim's
That's why
Refuge.
I said, like, isn't that why our characters were made to investigate that?
Yeah. So basically, Pilgrim's Refuge. Consider that the only area that I have to say no to. The other area I would recommend not going to until you're stronger is Cordoldrum and the dwarves.
Guys, let's go to Cordoldrum. We can handle it. We're lucky enough.
Let's just go straight through
That was
Quarterdrum.
what I was going to ask next, though, was what are the areas that are higher level?
The only one that's factored around you guys being stronger is Cordoldrum.
I think I want to go to Everlast.
Everything else can be shifted around by level, but that is the one area that you are
Absolutely should not go to.
I would recommend maybe like halfway through the campaign is when you should be going there.
AKA 1 year from now, guys.
Buff.
I think we should start with the large area there, where the troops, where the significant amount of troops are. Show our presence, help fix the problems that ail them, and then move across the southern border, deal with Snyderville next, then the Gnome Place, move up to Rococo. Next would be Marketopia. Obviously, probably, I think well, I don't even know.
This is actually something I'm curious about.
Yeah.
We're going into a province that's completely has the largest military.
Yeah.
He has cut out. He has cut out.
I will be cutting out. I can't help that.
All right.
Like their largest military influence, they are obviously very strict. I can't really. Do they actually have?
Did you say like, do they have a problem?
Problems in comparison to all the other provinces.
I can't really gauge the level of problems for each place. I would say that.
Do we hear on the wind upon the rumors of the traders and merchants that there are many issues from Chesterfield?
Go ahead and roll history.
Okay. Actually, does someone want to roll history?
My history is like 1.
Let me check. I think I have high history.
I have 3, so I just wanted to say.
Never mind, I do have 3 as well.
I have 4.
Okay, Joe, roll.
Yay.
Oh, you know history.
Okay. You know that Drolagia and its like surrounding places, it's a mixture of wasteland and important areas. So that area specifically, there are no roving bandits. It's very heavily protected. It's very it's run very military like, very strict, very on the nose. You know that at night there are these massive storms that happen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say death worms.
Yes, of course.
There are these massive storms that roll across, and if you aren't in a safe location, then they've been known to potentially tear flesh off of bone.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's go to Snyderville.
But in terms of like things going wrong, you've heard rumors of not really issues with the people, but there are monsters that have been plaguing the lands that normal soldiers aren't really equipped to deal with. What?
It means we are though. We're equipped. We're better than soldiers.
You're the protagonist, so
we're the protagonists in a D&D campaign run by someone who's willing to kill the party.
That is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine.
So yeah, let's go to Snyderville.
No, we're not.
I'm not too worried.
We're
I'm not too worried
wussing
about
out.
Chesterfield.
We're not wussing out.
I'm
now.
honestly not too worried about Chesterfield. We could also, if someone's curious, we could roll history because I'm assuming there is we previously heard about bandit issues are probably some of the areas we should be focusing on more. Because obviously, like if they're fine, then you just have monster issues in most places.
So can we roll with my 20?
Or
You're gonna have to roll
per-
a different one for each
per
place.
province.
Ho,
Okay.
ho, ho.
Well, I was just gonna say in general for, like, do I know which place is plagued worst with bandit attacks?
Let's roll another general history, and I can tell you that.
Okay, good enough.
When it comes to bandits, a lot of them are more in the north. Like Buck Wallace has problems with bandits. Jalundis, Raylan, Irish Hull, and a little bit of Fior primarily are the ones suffering from bandit problems the most. No bandit wants to be in the snow. No bandit really wants to be in the desert.
Are you sure? Are you sure? There could be
Dormandor
desert.
is really far removed from a lot of things. It's a lot more peaceful in the southwest. The dwarves are very good at not abiding bandits. And bandits would never dare step near the Temple of Kermi.
Oh, yeah.
Harcliffe also
Right.
has some
Right.
issues with bandits as well.
Okay, then let's do a little flipper-do. What if we secure the areas in the north
This is great.
that are more likely to be attacked?
The only issue with that is that more provinces in the north.
There's more what?
More provinces. So we have to delegate in a lot of different smaller areas.
No. I'm not talking about troops. I'm talking about us.
We are the troops. We're in the ocean now.
You completed this.
Well, make that half because we only half completed it according to you, Dylan.
Yeah, half completed it. The problem still exists.
But I mean, I don't really care as long as we're going to places that are generally having a lot of issues. Like
Everywhere.
like the fantasy side of me does want to oh yeah, let's go to Chesterfield that's plagued by death storms and death monsters and death. But then the other part of me is I like my character.
Do you though?
And we're also not even none of us even have an attack yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at what the best course of action is, and there's just so many options I don't even know.
I know, yeah.
There's so many ways for them to die. I don't even know.
I have a general path that I think I would probably follow if I was in your shoes, but then again, I also know the entire campaign, so that's not really a proper.
Bit of a bias.
Oh,
Yeah.
just a bit.
But yeah, I would just go to the areas that are plagued by bandits. I would just want to take care of the bandit issues, probably.
Okay, so up north we go. Buck Wallace.
So yeah,
is.
the north we go.
So, if you're going to bandit places, there's Harcliffe, Rylan, Jalundis, Buckwallis, and Irishhole.
I mean,
Alice need more bandits.
logically, no, Alice does not need that.
Yeah, logically speaking.
No, logically speaking,
She's done it.
No.
I think we should just go in route of Buck Wallace, Ishal, Jalundus, and then Harcliffe.
Okay.
Basically, we do
That
that.
way
Stay away
we
from
deal with
Fort-
all of those.
And I assume after each one, you'll be heading back to the keep, correct?
Yeah, I would say so. I would personally like to.
There.
That's a
That-
stall,
could-
not that's a stall, not Harcliffe, but close.
That's what that. Oh, I can't erase this now.
Well,
So
because
John-
Stall also has a bandit problem as well. Yes, Traven?
You said pronounce it?
Which place?
Uh,
You cut out. I didn't hear that.
Whoa. Oh. The internet's trying.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
You might want to switch to your phone, Traven.
I don't wanna.
I deleted some extra things. I'm gonna just fix this wall over here. Kind of need that.
So for choral, I cannot
Chordal
say it.
drum. Chordal drum.
Chordal drum.
Yeah.
Okay, so for chordal drum.
Oh no.
That's the thing about words that I'm now seeing that I previously don't make the names up myself. So, because I'm like, is that how you say it? Is
Okay,
that how you
hold
say
up.
it?
Yeah,
So-
I just didn't know what you meant originally. That's why I was kind of like,
So-
oh, okay.
Just as a consensus, are we going for a hard cliff through chordal drum right now or no?
So before we do that, you told us to try and stay away from chordal drum because
Well, you can like go like around it through it. But I'm saying like engaging with that arc, I would recommend waiting.
okay.
Could we go
So
to
in
Teledor?
reference to that, for Vadengrad and for Heartcliff, is it the same level of difficulty around that area, or is it
No.
just chordal drum? Okay.
The chordal drum is difficult for a certain reason that will make sense
just
when
because
you
of just because of an
It's a
arc.
dragon.
There is a
everything else is scaled exactly to your level, except for chordal drum, and that's just because it. You'll understand. I'll
Because of
explain
an arc.
everything after we
Endgame.
finish that.
Chordal
because
drum is endgame.
Mid game.
They are the big bad.
But yeah, the route that
yeah. So
Please just switch to your phone.
can't
Yeah,
hear you.
we didn't hear what you said.
sounds no better, guys. You just have to deal with it.
Well, we'll have to ask you to repeat what you just said. To be honest,
The route that's drawn on the map, I'm fine with.
I mean, I don't know where to go from Hardcliff. Do we go back to the keep? And if so, where?
I mean, we could just walk back through Chordal Drum. It doesn't matter.
There we go.
But it honestly, Kevin, it would be it would essentially be keep Buck Wallace, keep
I'll break in
Airshall.
an Airshall.
keep back to London.
And I also I will say I know you guys like are growing up with the intent of bandits, but keep in mind like
There's more than
not
just
all of the
bandits.
arcs are like not all of the arcs are going to be. There's one
Obviously.
collective arc within this campaign that has a heavy focus on bandits. Everything else doesn't have a focus. I mean, like bandits may play some role, but there's only one arc that's theme is bandits.
Okay.
And there's one that's racing themed.
There is one, and I'm really excited for that.
No.
Kevin. No.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Boy, it has been snowing pretty good.
Ye-
Has it now?
So, just to solidify, we're going to. I mean, like where you guys go after is fine, but for the first place we're going to, name it now.
Buck
Buck
Wallace.
Black Wallace.
Yes, Black
Majority vote.
Blackwater.
What?
I think that I feel like Joe's decision to go to interest in going anywhere but the Temple of Kermi is because I had joked that he may see Garfield.
Oh, for God's sake!
No, that is definitely not it.
Okay,
It is
okay,
purely military reason.
that's fine.
Because I mean, previous to today, I was 100% planning on going to the Temple of Kermi.
Well, that's fine. It doesn't hurt for you guys to be stronger before you go there. Okay.
Get stronger.
We're going fucking right now, then. Fuck you and
So-
your strength.
Stronger.
I will say
Very strong.
also, so not all of the like Fior was not a combat oriented arc. Some of the arcs are more combat oriented than others. I will say, in your pathway, there are a couple that aren't as combat oriented.
That's fine.
Diplomacy.
Heads up.
No, I don't
It's
like
not necessarily diplomacy, and there's going to be combat, but like one of them, I'm not going to spoil anything, but
No.
there's not too many combat heavy ones, so
Harmon's gonna have fun with that.
okay. So Buck Wallace.
Just out of curiosity, are a majority of them combat oriented or no?
It's roughly down the middle.
Okay,
Ooh.
that's fine then. Harmon will deal with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it should be fun either way, in my opinion. But I just want to let you know that there is going to be. I was just giving a disclaimer because I know going through through some of these, you may be like, "Oh wow, it's like we barely have combat in some of these," whereas like there are like 2 or 3 arcs that are nearly non-stop combat.
I just thought we were playing a D&D version of Civilization.
I mean, that's funny. I guess that's part of it. That's more late game stuff, though.
Not necessarily.
I mean, yeah, we're getting our feet wet now, but
Squawk.
Well, I mean, civilization isn't only building cities and building up military.
no, I know.
Also,
To people.
establishing relations with other people and being diplomatic, such as we are doing.
You
So,
just think out
Totally.
everybody that doesn't agree.
civilization.
Totally.
Okay.
What we are playing.
All right. So, are you guys ready to make your way to Buck Wallace?
I would prefer to go to the keep first.
Okay, we can do that.
I would also retrieve my horse.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
That's my horse.
gives your horse back. Okay, so we're gonna make your way to the keep. We're not gonna do anything special with that for travel. Wow, you're at the keep. Crazy. What are your
Wow.
plans?
I would like to retrieve my horse armor and put it on my horse.
All right, horse suitably armored.
That's right. I have horse armor, boys.
Mhm.
Was it
My
with
one
the
shot
DLC?
What'd you say, Traven?
So was it part of the DLC?
It was part of the DLC. Speaking of which, I need to do both of your DLC sessions, Traven and Kevin.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
boy.
Wait, what?
I didn't realize they haven't done that.
Oh.
Well, I haven't seen them at all in the really.
I mean, it can't be helped.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of you guys for like over a year.
Oh, it's okay.
Oof. Okay. Was there anything else? Did you just want the horse armor?
I essentially just wanted the horse armor.
Jesus. Jesus.
And while you're there, Randolphus comes out and
Just
he
his
says,
usual greetings.
I hear that there's something in the air.
Something vile.
Is there something in the air? I haven't smelt it.
I've heard. I heard about what happened at the party.
Yes.
And I know you're going to be heading off, and so since you have your incessantly happy traveling companion,
Yes.
I commissioned a means of which he can travel without walking all the time.
Wait,
Is it a
what?
small cart that he stands on while one of the horses pulls him?
Close,
Pull him.
but he
Close.
Randolphus has some guards come out, and you see before you 2 oxen pulling a large cart, like more like a chariot-looking cart almost. That looks
What?
very, very reinforced for very large mushroom men.
Specifically mushroom men, you say?
Mhm.
Mushroom man angry.
And Sappy is actually on it.
He's a little tiny dude, though, isn't he?
No, he's the same size as Happy.
Man, I almost want to switch Happy with Sappy temporarily and see what Harmon says.
And Sappy gets out and says, "Have fun on your trip."
Sappy, how would you feel if you went on a trip with us?
I would sooner be dead.
Oh, that's the spirit.
So he doesn't want to. Oof.
I
He
am
doesn't want to do anything.
I
I'm
know. I
content
know.
sitting in our shared room, happiness, sitting
You just want to
and
drag.
helping when needed.
Do you just want to drag him along then at this point?
Please
We could.
don't.
Kinda want to switch that.
Please.
I know you. I know you do. But
Dylan,
like,
I do have one question though.
Okay.
What would his combat be? If
He's not a happy kind of combat. He won't fight in combat.
He will depress the enemy.
I will
will
give you
he
full
will
heads up.
completely refuse to fight in combat.
He just, it's not that he would he doesn't know how to
he
fight.
just can't do it. That's
Oh.
all.
All right, we're keeping happy.
Ah.
Oh no.
Happy
Oh,
was
no.
meant to be disarming. Sappy is just meant to be depressing.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh.
So, Happy goes and stands on the cart and he says, "Oh man, I'm so excited! I've never been so happy in my life. Is this what true happiness feels like?" And he begins to cry like tears of dirt.
Tears of like filled with spores and shit. Oh.
And he says, "Thank you so much. I can stand without moving my legs constantly.
What the fuck?
Oh, what a wonder."
No, he can't. He still has to dance. That's a lie, Dylan.
Yeah, but that's not moving legs to have.
No, what do you mean?
You have to understand, Joe. Dancing is so embedded in his consciousness that he doesn't see dancing as movement.
It's just like breathing to him.
Exactly.
That's unfortunate.
What do you mean that's
Think about it like that. That's how he breathes. By dance.
That's even more unfortunate.
Oh, that's great.
Um,
I
Okay.
feel his internal pain that he does not externally say.
Okay, so we're starting to head to Buckwallis. We're gonna do the traveling thing.
Yay!
So-
Roll away, boys.
Each of you are going to message me.
Damn it!
What did you say, Traven?
Repeat that.
Kisses.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
So you'll message me one good thing and one bad thing.
One good thing and one bad thing.
One good thing, one bad thing.
We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each of you message me
The
privately.
travel-y boy thing.
About what? Like
Just
what?
Something
what-
that happens when you're traveling.
Okay.
And keep it scaled to your level. And try and keep them like plausible things.
Okay.
Oh, scaled to level.
Scale to your level, yes. Okay. How do you make that work, Traven?
Fucking Traven, what did you just put in for the bad thing?
I like how you immediately knew it was the bad thing that you started off with.
God damn it, Traven.
And you said one good thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I feel like I already know what it's going to be, and I'm gonna be fucking.
Oh no, you won't.
Okay.
Actually, it'll just be homage to it because I just got done reading the book.
A book. Okay.
They kind of tie into one another almost.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow, that's not good to hear then.
And I like how they're both random.
You're very random.
Well, I
You
mean,
don't-
you literally
you don't know
started
if it's
both
good.
of them off with random.
I know, because you don't know if it's good or not. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe what you're reading is the opposite, Dylan. Maybe it's a bad. Maybe it's that really fucked up weapon I showed you. The one that
Yeah.
has like all those crazy
know what you're talking
disadvantages if you
about.
don't pass all the rolls, but it's really good. Sort of derailing campaign.
taking a
You know
while
what's
to
really crazy
charge.
about you know what's like really crazy about my internet is that my internet speed is actually stronger here, but it cuts out, and I think it has something to do with my router. I think it's starting to go.
Huh. That's kind of weird.
Very weird. Mostly because like I'll keep a consistent speed, and I ended up like because I have a multimeter with me, and I was testing to see if there's any issues with the coaxial line itself. Because I use a coaxial, I use a DOS. Was it DOSC
DOS.
3. No, not DOS. It's
DOS.
DOCISIS 3.0. So
DOS.
that uses a coaxial cable format, which usually is kind of better. It kind of depends. There's less resistance, and it doesn't get as much interference on a line. But I tested it and had issues, and I get consistent speeds. But for some reason, like it just cuts out. So at one point, it was like it was running and it was completely fine, but my router was saying it wasn't. So it makes me think my router might be gone.
Yep. Rest in peace. Get a cheap $30 Netgear one. It'll be fine.
Nah.
All right. I think that might be enough.
I can apparently get gigabyte internet here. Because of where I'm at, because there's a CenturyLink building like right across from me.
Sure.
All right, you all offered some pretty good ones. So what we're gonna do is, you guys are going to each pick one even and one odd
2
between
and
1
3.
and 8. Okay.
1 and 4.
1 and 8. Well, just take all my fucking numbers. Why don't you? I fucking hate you guys.
Okay, hold on. Wait, Joe, you said 2 and 3.
Yep.
Kevin,
1 and 4.
Traven,
7 and 8.
The exasperation is strong with this one.
all right.
I
So-
wanted. He was number 1.
All right, you guys ready? I don't even know who I want you guys to get because these are all interesting.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Let me read yours again. Okay. Wait, just to make sure, the first one's the good one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we leave on our journey from the keep. Actually, question: you guys want to sleep at the keep and then leave in the morning?
I mean,
Yes.
is everyone at full
Yeah,
health?
because I am like gravely injured right now.
Okay. Everyone can heal up to full health.
Gravely injured, I tell ya, and then restock on spell slots.
So, Dylan, I know you said that we had to worry about food and whatnot when we were on our other characters. Are we still worrying about food and whatnot with these characters?
Nope.
No, it's certain areas will call for it, but
Okay.
AKA the desert,
and that
the
may
winter.
I guess that may change depending on how Fantasy Grounds is, but for
I mean,
you know,
you should make it easy.
The characters
Yeah,
are
I think
dying.
Actually
You need
have
to
an
eat.
independent system for that. I think it's like based on. I don't know. I feel like the mechanic was based on like how many times they move into determining it. I don't know.
Hey,
I thought
Dill.
something
Yeah.
like that.
While we're at the keep, technically, I still have this unknown tablet. I don't know what it is.
unknown tablet.
Yeah, unknown
Actually,
tablet in my inventory.
That reminded me of something that still irks me about Steve ending the session. I remember that I had that scroll for our silica and all that shit that was on it, and I was like really interested in that. And that's the wrong thing. I could never fucking read it, which is why Dill. I really want to fucking have a redemption on that goddamn arc because there's so many things.
We can also do a one shot sometime, kind of playing as your old characters if you guys want to do like a side quest thing.
We already
Except
have
for-
side quests.
Yeah.
Okay, well, figured you want to play like Bourbon, Kolvek, and Oku again, but whatever.
No. We can't. Go
I
back
would
to
love to, but that would be a third session.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be
Oh,
just a one-time thing.
Oh, not a big deal.
I don't know.
It could be
what that
something we
unknown
could do
tablet
once
was
for all in person.
Yeah, you just told me that
That'd be fun.
You told me I found unknown tablets from one of the ladies at the mansion, but
The one that you read out earlier.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, 'cause he found one.
Did he?
He found one before that.
Yeah, he found one in the one room.
Yeah.
It's just variants of the same thing, honestly.
Okay.
I just didn't realize I gave you the plot device last session instead of this
Oh,
session.
okay.
Actually, wait. We may have to retcon.
Oh.
We kind of
boy.
just left that
Oh, boy.
woman in the room.
I figured that they.
Oh, that
Did
is.
Did you guys want to help interrogate?
We did put one to sleep and roped her up. We didn't do anything with her after that.
chained her up.
No, no, that one was roped up. I did the roping, or Barthon did it actually.
No. That was a different lady.
Chained and Alice did it.
No. Traven, there was the one that
No.
there was
No.
a different lady.
No.
Yeah, there is that lady. I
That
was more so
lady.
talking about the chained up one, but you did leave one behind at the mansion as well.
Yeah.
She was also tied up, so I think they can deal with her.
Yeah.
All right, so we're not gonna do anything with her. All right.
Well, hold on. Does anyone actually want to try and do the interrogation? Because then that might end up determining some things.
No, I trust the people of Rubico to actually handle that.
Evan just wants to keep moving forward. He wants to do things.
I
He
need.
doesn't want to
I
get the
need-
small details that could possibly save her ass
I
later.
need sustenance. I need action.
It's fine.
I think we should just move forward. I
Okay.
think they can tell us later what needs to be done.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. We're not gonna retain any information probably from interrogating.
All right.
I love
Well,
when Brian doesn't clean the fucking cat litter, and then it smells up in my room because the fucking heater's in his.
Oof.
Oh.
didn't he? I thought he did. Honestly, I don't know.
Fucking smells like shit.
Oh.
Yeah, it probably smells worse in your room than it does with me in the living room right now.
Oh, that's great. This is
No,
why,
it's not.
This is why we don't have cats.
The issue isn't cats.
Totally cats.
This is why Elon Musk must genetically engineer some cat girls for once.
Yes.
Fuck.
Please stop.
So, we're gonna travel, team. So we begin traveling towards Buck Wallace.
Okay, no. No.
And the you notice as you're kind of traveling along the paths, northeast of where you're at, that you see a lot more kind of soldiers already milling about. Even though it's only been a day since things have happened, you can see soldiers traveling from different areas, on their way to traveling to the different areas, kind of
By the
already
platoons,
starting their
by
journey.
the brigades. Oh man, so many.
So many. And as you guys are traveling, you come across this small forest that you kind of begin making your way through. And as you're traveling, you see some a mossy statue kind of looking like it's fallen over on the ground up against a tree. And the statue is pointing a finger to the direction of the west.
Huh.
That's
okay.
interesting.
You guys want to go check it out, or you want to continue?
The statue just coincidentally happens to be pointing to the west. I say we should go do it. We should go see what it's pointing at.
Wait, is it knocked over?
Yeah, it is knocked over. That's why I was like,
Okay, let's. What direction would it be facing if it were in its proper position?
Well,
If
will we know?
its proper position isn't here. You know.
Oh,
So it looks like it was just discarded
A statue just happens to be discarded. Oof.
Let's check it out.
I mean, why not? I mean, do we recognize what the figure is that the statue's based on?
It does look like it's just a man, warrior, garb and all, but not anyone that you recognize.
Probably some town hero then.
That folk hero background.
Probably Pilgrim's Refuge hero.
So you guys are going that way?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, let's investigate.
As you stray off the path, you
This can't be good.
you start following deeper into the woods, and you start coming across mossy bits of cobblestone that look like they used to be a path long ago, kind of making a very makeshift path. Further to the west, deeper into the small forest.
There must be something here, boys.
And you hear these distant bird calls, just kind of ringing around. But as you travel further, you see before you this small set of ruins. They're covered in moss. It's clear that they haven't been touched in probably a good 50, 60 years. It looks a little bit dilapidated, but in its prime, it was still not a very resplendent temple.
A temple?
And there's a open doorway leading deeper into the temple.
Do you guys want to check it out?
Sure.
Are we walking into a trap?
Let's check for traps.
All right, gang. Look for clues. Shaggy, stop breaking reality.
Rolling investigation.
Okay, and where are you investigating?
The doorway.
Okay, you do see there was a small wire kind of put across that if you would have walked in willy-nilly like I had hoped you would, it looked like it would have activated
Killing the party. Killing the
party
fucking party.
Party wiping. All right.
It would have activated what?
An arrow trap.
I was gonna thieves tool if it's
Ooh, Kevin.
Oof.
You try and disarm the trap, but you hit the wrong thing, and
There's one wire.
The wire. It was the blue wire, not the red one.
an arrow shoots out from directly in front and is going to swing towards.
Reflex. Can I catch
I
it?
should say it's a large arrow.
So it's like a ballista arrow, basically.
Yeah,
Is it a ballista arrow? Can I
Yeah.
catch it?
you can try, but let's make a dex saving throw first for the three of you.
Ugh.
Dex save.
Oh. Oh no!
Traven, just make one slave hand check as well. I mean, you're gonna still take damage. I want to see something.
Oh no!
Okay, so
Hold
this is what
on.
happens.
I'm gonna try and catch this bitch too.
Okay,
Oh.
Nice.
who wants to be? Okay, so Joe's in the back. So this is what happens.
Nope. Hold up.
No, not happening.
Damn it!
So this large ballista launches out, and Kevin, you try and leap to the side, but it skims you, and you try and catch it as it's going by, and you slow it down a little bit. And Alice, you see this coming, and you you don't even move out of the way actually,
No.
but you're so short it just kind of hits your shoulder, goes through, and you try and catch it with your hand also, but it just doesn't work. And then Barthon, as it goes towards you, you reach your hands out and you smack them together in the air. But I mean, it's already in hit your shoulder. It's in you, but you caught it.
How is it in me but missed her? I am shorter than
No,
her.
it went through her shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It went through Alice's shoulder?
Yes.
Oh. How much damage do I have?
No, we're about to roll that right now.
Oh no!
Ow.
That's a big arrow. We should have taken off her arm at that point, to be honest.
Now I have a hole in my cloak.
All of you are taking 6 damage.
Oh,
Yay.
yeah.
It's only 6 damage. At least it's not death, like, inducing.
Could have not hit us.
I mean,
Alice is like, it's okay, I'm fine, and she coughs up blood. But Railed, I think you shouldn't touch traps anymore.
yeah, you know what? Fine. Sure.
No, it's just bad luck. It happens.
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't bad luck. This has been consistently happening over 2 sessions now.
Only when we're actually doing something that can endanger.
Yeah, only when that happens. Everything else that's like, filler or whatnot, we get decent rolls. I'm just like, ugh. All right, but
Fantastic.
moving on from that, after tending to our bleeds, should we move on now, boys and girls?
Somebody is trying to sell a gaming computer with 8 gigabytes of RAM, terabyte hard drive, a GTX 660 Ti,
Such a good deal
Hell
already.
yeah.
Such a good deal already, Joe.
$300.
Such a good deal.
It actually is a decent deal.
No,
And
it's
sketchy.
not. It's not. No, it's
at that price, it actually is. What's the CPU?
An Intel Core 2 Q30.
Now it's not. Now it's not.
You can swap it out. It's
It's
not.
an ancient. It's like Max's computer, like his old case that he had, the orange one. That's what it is in. It was originally the FX, the Intel FX computer, whatever. I don't know.
Okay, well.
It's a gateway computer.
For drugs?
Yes.
You
For
called
a
it a
bad-
gateway computer.
It's a gateway computer for a bad time. Okay, back to Gabe. Sorry, I just saw that. It was like on my feed, and I'm like, why? Why?
Because
Why?
somebody will buy that, Joe. You know it.
No,
And,
they won't.
You see, as you guys enter,
Yes.
you see a few things before you. First of all, the temple itself is bare with the exception of 3 things. But just to describe the walls, they're stone. And the inside, despite the outside looking really dilapidated, the inside looks, despite covered with moss, the stonework and everything is still very solid. You see a statue and 2 staircases, each leading in a circular pattern to 2 separate chests.
Ooh.
So to describe this, if you walk forward, there are 2 separate sets of staircases that each weave towards the outer walls and then weave back in, going up to the top, where there are 2 chests facing you. One chest,
Similar to the stairs that are in our castle.
Like those.
kind of, but more circular.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is a purple chest with a bunch of these arcane-looking lifts. The other one is a green chest with similar arcane glyphs. And also, at a little bit, not still on like a smaller pedestal on the ground, not connected to a stair, is a small statue of this creature sitting like in place. It's a stone statue. Let me send it the call. There you go. I just sent it.
And you say it's a small statue of it?
It's when I say small, I guess like it's about 10 feet long from nose to butt.
That's small. That's small, guys.
I sent it in Skype in case for those of you.
That's small, Dill. 10 feet, small.
Yes.
How big is this creature normally?
About double the size.
So
Yep, that is
20
small,
feet.
Kevin.
No, no.
Can I roll history on this place to see if it's a known historic location?
Yeah, let's see that history roll.
Nope.
You've never heard of this place.
Let me try my luck at this.
Oh, there you go.
Anything.
Okay, so you've heard rumors of an old tale.
Sure.
So once upon a time, there was a young boy who desperately wanted to be a soldier. He was 8 years old when he first picked up a sword, but his father, a farmer, forbid him from engaging with it.
This is
Are you-
Henry's story.
I'm sorry, Joe?
This is Henry from Kingdom Come Deliverance.
This is not Henry.
But it
Sorry.
is.
You are
His
so
dad would let him touch the sword.
you are so right. Oh my.
Oh my goodness. But a few weeks later, he was in the forest mucking about, and he came across a small wolf pup. The boy instantly fell in love with this pup and brought him back and begged his dad to keep the animal. And his dad, hoping to just placate him, said, "Sure, why not?" And so the boy started spending time with the pup, and they grew close. Over the course of a couple of years, the pup had grown into a wolf and was obedient to the now a young man through anything. When the man turned 20, the call was made to go to war. His father forbid him still, but the boy left just to join the army, and on the way got lost in the woods with his wolf. While in the woods, he was unable to find his way out. He was there for a few days, barely surviving off the little bit of water and food that he had brought. And on the verge of his death, he stopped before a temple. While stopped before the temple, the man paid small reverence to the god or goddess of this temple in hopes that he would be saved.
Sure.
Before him, a young woman came out of the temple. Upon speaking to her, he realized that if this woman was here, then he was saved. Food, water, anything. He tried to get up, but he was unable to. The woman said to him, "If you but pledge your allegiance to me, then I will reward you with your heart's deepest desire." He, in his foolishness, agreed. And so she took out a knife and immediately stabbed the wolf in the head.
Nice.
The man
Outrage with anger.
he was outraged and tried to stand up, but without too much issue. The woman went and placed her hand upon his, and he found himself filled with the power unlike anything he'd ever seen. Before he reached his hand down and imbued magic into his wolf, having never used magic before. And this wolf turned into this perverse creature and grew its tail into this large stinger. And the woman,
Was proud to see.
goddess of death, gave him a sword and told him to go and fulfill his heart's desire.
I can't imagine who she is, to be honest.
Some say to this day that the man never stopped killing. But who knows?
Nice.
Hey, Trev, does
So-
this sound like Goblin Slayer to you?
I've
I
never
don't
seen
know.
Goblin Slayer.
I wouldn't. Not really.
It sounds like Berserk as well now.
Wasn't the main character in Goblin Slayer like raped and like abused by goblins? That's why like they hate goblins.
Oh no! His sister was, and right in front of him.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you know.
She was
just-
also killed.
Oh,
Just murder, just rape. Yeah, it's alright.
But moving on.
so yes, that's your history.
Okay. Really didn't provide too much more insight, but I mean, hey, I guess that explains the statue outside, maybe. So, yeah, that's the history behind this place, I guess.
So Nufani owns this temple.
I don't know who.
Let's pray to Nufani. I'm gonna pray to Nufani.
Are you
Let's see
though?
this
I
roll.
thought you're gonna pray to Cthulhu.
No, I mean we're in Nufani's temple. Why pray to Cthulhu? That's blatant disrespect.
Okay.
All right, that's a no bueno though.
Yikes.
That's fine. I was giving her my respect.
You tried, yeah. Your prayers were heard, but she kind of, she's like, okay, party time. God damn it, though. Fucking. Ugh.
So what are we doing, team? There are the two chests I described. There's a statue. Nothing
there-
else of interest.
So we can't like roll perception and see
I'm
if there's
gonna go
anything else?
examine the statue. I like this.
Sure.
You can roll perception, and you can roll investigation on the statue.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Sounds like a good.
Investigate.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
Perception in the room. Since you're doing general perception over
Yeah.
the entire room,
Yeah.
you can see evidence of this temple being used.
In a way, I actually
Trap.
do want to interject for a little bit. It's like if there was a trap there, like I want to imagine that either that was that fairly recent, like that kind of trap, like set up.
You can recognize that this trap was rather recent.
There must be somebody here, somebody watching us. Okay, but go on.
And looking around the general room, you can tell that it's a lot cleaner than you would expect, despite the moss on the walls. In fact, honestly, if you remove the moss, it would look like a fresh temple, truthfully, on the inside. But there's nothing else of note, though, besides what I've already given.
Oh,
For the
okay.
perception,
Okay.
go to an investigation. Joe, so you're approaching the wolf thing statue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get close, and you're doing your investigation. Something you notice really strangely now that you're closer about the statue is it's not like any other statue you've ever seen before. Normally you've seen statues plenty of times in your home city, but this looks so lifelike that it's almost as if you can see the individual pieces of fur.
I'm gonna pet it.
And you'll let me finish describing first real fast.
I'm gonna
You
pet
also
it.
hear this very soft, constant growl.
Yep, figured.
Do it, Joe.
You gonna pet it?
Pet the doggo.
Needs
I
a good
am
pet.
gonna stroke his head.
Okay, you strike his head. Feels like very smooth stone.
Oh. Try hitting the statue.
No,
Try under his chin.
This thing.
Try under his chin.
I'm gonna scratch under his chin.
While this is going on, am I able to go up one of the staircases and examine the chest to see like these glyphs?
Which one do you want to go to? Purple or green?
I want to check the purple.
Okay, so you start heading up the stairs to Purple, and you're like rubbing underneath of its chin gel, and you hear the growling get like one little like 10% louder,
A notch higher, basically.
a notch
Oh.
higher.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he does-
stop.
He doesn't like getting scratched underneath the chin.
Uh-oh,
It
uh-oh.
stays at its same level.
Oh no.
Kolvek, stop moving.
Okay.
No, well, you've already reached the chest at this point.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Do you want me to step away from the chest?
Yeah, move back away from the chest a little bit.
Yeah, okay. I'll take a couple steps back.
Sound does not change.
I'll walk off the staircase.
Sound does not change.
I'm gonna go back to the chest then.
Hey, go back to the chest.
Okay.
Can I examine the chest?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
What are the glyphs? What do I want to use to examine the glyphs?
You're probably going to check. Okay. Okay. So I see we're getting all the high rolls now.
Like
you can't
I said,
fuck up
the-
outside of con. I mean,
Look,
can't fuck up when we. Okay,
Dill,
so
Dill, no.
I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, so you recognize that the glyphs on this chest are interesting, as all of them bear the markings of necromancy. Like all the different markings are different representations for death, murder,
Typical Nirvani.
genocide,
Typical.
any sort of word you can think of for some kind of death, suicide. It's on there. But you can't read these glyphs. Like, you don't understand what they mean. But
That's
you
what they
can feel
stand
the energy
for, yeah.
kind of coming off of them. Like, from an arcane sense, you're able to understand what it kind of is meaning.
Oh.
All kinds of words for death. So there's even Kermit suicide.
That's a grievous sin, so yes. Yeah, Kermit doesn't exist in this world.
World.
Oh,
Only Kermit.
Only Kermit.
Kermit
So
suicide.
it's Kermit suicide.
Kermit suicide, yeah. Oh.
Kermicide.
Yes.
Yes, that one will be on there. It's
Um,
This is
when
gonna be
Kermit
weird.
forces you to
So-
commit suicide.
Okay, so based upon that story, the only thing I can really think of is we do two things.
We need to perform
Well,
a
also
sacrifice.
check the other chest.
Am I able to read the other chest still?
You can try and jump across over there and then read it.
Oh, they're on different platforms. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Each staircase leads to a separate one.
Um,
But I mean, like, it's like 5 feet away, so you could probably jump there.
how far down is the
Make
drop?
a deck save.
10
Breaks a
feet.
leg.
10 feet. I'm gonna just get her a little bit of a scuff.
Any acrobatics check if you're jumping.
Yeah, I'm jumping over.
Do a barrel roll.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so you jump and you do a flip like Lincoln Majora's Mask.
Hell yeah.
You land on the other side.
All right. What do the things say on
Alice
here? Are
claps.
they light?
I need an Arcana check. Okay, so all the glyphs on here, the resounding theme of this is different words for prison, imprisonment, and it's so other things like it. So like exile, banishment, everything kind of under that general area is the theme of the Arcana.
Nufani had some interesting tastes.
My turn.
I think I have an interesting thing I would like to try.
Okay.
Can't do the thing. I think it's.
I would like to cast some wild magic.
Okay.
Oh, hold up. No, you're not casting wild magic here.
Well, he already said it.
You already said it. So
Fuck
now I
it.
have to do it.
No.
Okay, so Joe, for wild magic, I need you to son of a bitch. That's... Okay.
Joe's gonna break the game now, boy.
Hell yeah!
No!
Make it a dead magic zone for over 500 feet.
Yes.
Okay, I need you to roll a D100.
Oh no!
Oh, that's not on that list. I need to pull up the actual one. There we
It
are.
doesn't even matter if he rolls high. It does it still.
I was just going to say to do either 270.
Okay, so
Joe,
as you use your wild magic on your cloak, immediately Happy, Mimpy, Alice, and Rayold turn invisible.
Oh boy.
Alice,
I don't
where
feel
did you
so
go?
far.
Everyone besides Barthon is
So, can we technically
This-
see ourselves? Like, can we see like other people still? Like that?
So
Can I
how
see
invisibility
can I see my feet?
how invisibility works for those that are invisible is like you can kind of see like a gray temporal version of yourself, kind of.
Oh, okay.
So you could still like see yourself perfectly fine. It's just that like it's like if somebody was it's like if you would look at yourself through a waterfall.
Yeah,
a light
oh.
waterfall.
I get you. But we can't see like other. Obviously, can invisible people see other invisible people? I'm just gonna
No.
ask the obvious. Okay.
That was a good question, but no.
All right. Well, Barthon, what did you do? Why? Where's Alice?
I can't see my toes.
Wait, Alice, you're here.
Yes.
Wait, hold up. Why are my hands like all gray looking? Like.
I don't
Who
know about that.
knows? Who knows?
So I think there's either two things that we can do based upon the story. Either we try and inject magic into the statue, or we stab the statue.
I like how we're just gonna continue through this without even worrying.
It
about
only lasts 60 seconds, so.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Be happy. It's one of the nicer ones.
Yeah.
Should I cast my magic again on the dog?
Wild magic?
Joe,
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
chill. You need to chill because now you're starting to do a Steve. You're starting to do a Steve now.
I am joking.
Good. 'Cause I had a
Or
player-
am I?
I had a player use wild magic, so I have some PTSD.
PTSD. Yep. I don't know. What did you say that we should probably do though, Traven? What was your suggestion?
Based upon the story, I'm assuming that we either need to somehow inject magic into the statue or stab the fuck out of the wolf with this dagger into his head. One or the other.
Is there a slot on its head, though, or anything?
I mean, you can see like a scar where it was originally stabbed, but there's no like opening.
And the only other thing I can think of is there's one chest that says death and one that says imprisonment. That probably is a theme. Wolf's trap, technically.
Yeah. Do we want to try and free it? Something then?
It could be interpreted in two different ways, because like the way I'm kind of interpreting this is that there's a chest for prison and a chest for death, and it could be that the wolf's been imprisoned and we had to release it by death.
Ooh. Can I cast Cure Wounds on it?
Yeah,
The
try.
statue?
Yeah.
You could try.
Do it.
Are you going to?
You could
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Alright, you walk up and you cast Cure Wounds on the statue.
Glitter, glitter.
The growling stops.
Aww. It likes you now. We now have a wolf statue as a pet.
The wolf statue that doesn't even move. All right.
It's great.
Guess what, Happy? You don't get the card anymore.
Oh.
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 That's no. Oh, okay.
Duly noted. Time for death.
Can I pet the statue again?
You pet the statue and it starts growling.
Mm-mm-mm.
So it doesn't like to be touched, I guess.
Wow, you can heal its wounds and it just growls at you. I don't like this. This dog is a bad baggo.
Yeah.
Bad doggo. No biscuits.
No biscuit. Okay.
Okay, so It's growling when we pet it.
Does it? Doesn't it? Just probably doesn't like physical contact in general, or I guess.
Has anyone tried touching the chest?
No.
That sounds like a bad time.
It does sound like a bad idea, honestly.
The only thing I can think of is stabbing the wolf. Unless, like, we have to pet it.
If you want to stab the wolf, you can stab the wolf. I'm walking away.
Yeah. Like, you want to take on the chance, I mean,
unless any of you guys have something that can cure petrification.
wild magic?
I swear to God, no.
It's possible.
Could we use something with our, like, affinity to magic, you know, like elements, I guess? Do you think we could do something with that? Like, who has the highest, like, earth?
Ooh, actually, are there swords in here, Dill?
There are braziers without anything in them.
You said earth?
Yeah.
Well, Alice is 91.
You have a really high earth affinity then. Maybe you could try to do something with that and see, like...
Also, affinity with darkness as well, which I think is really for Alice.
Wow. Wow. All right.
So, I don't know. Alice is gonna look at the statue.
Just gonna look at the statue. Yep.
She's gonna look at the wolf's eyes.
Stare down at them.
Stare down.
You see, let me have an investigation check if you look at these eyes. If you specifically look at these eyes. You look into its eyes. And you see wolf eyes.
Alright, what about my investigation on the eyes?
With your investigation on the eyes, you see some semblance of animal in the eyes.
So it is a
Like
wolf.
some semblance of life.
Okay.
So in the story, did the wolf like anything? I was like, I'll be honest, I was half paying attention to the story because I was in the middle of doing something.
I mean, he cared for his owner. That was it.
Yeah, that's about it. Do you think we can just move the statue from outside into here or something like that?
See,
Well,
I don't know. We could try, I guess.
Why? You're freaking Alice. You're like apparently super
Well,
buff.
Well, because like the way I'm thinking about this is like if we're gonna follow the story, even with the solution I brought up, this rip scene's fucked. I don't want to be here. Because like we pour magic into it, the story goes that it became a weird fucking crazy monster. So I just thought about that and it's like, well, we can't do that. The only thing I can think of is inspect the chest or not make the wolf stone.
Well, I did inspect the chest, but that's about it. There was nothing.
I'ma go and touch the necromancer chest.
Oh.
I'd prefer not
boy.
to touch the imprisonment one.
So you're touching the death chest.
You would
Yes.
rather.
You're touching
die.
the death chest.
I would rather die than become a stone.
You'd rather die than become a slave.
Exactly.
Wow. All right.
So-
well.
You touch the.
I'm just touching it. Just touching it. I'm not
Okay,
opening
nothing
it.
Pinky.
I mean,
It's
even touching it will
pinky.
guarantee probably death. I'm just saying.
No, nothing happens when you touch the chest.
Oh my god.
With his pinky.
Hmm.
Okay.
Can I
That's
move
fun.
the chest?
So
You cannot move the chest. You can give me a strength check before. I don't want to just say out right now.
yeah,
It must
bench press that chest.
better roll a nat.
Ah,
Oh.
That I accidentally hit that.
You-
When
With your
That
normal
chest-
strength, that roll is terrible. So you can't move the chest.
That roll's actually perfect because it's animal on a chest.
That's fair.
So true. So true.
Good. That's good. Stay.
Hmm.
Okay, so I was gonna look at the wolf.
Oh yeah, wait. What? I forget. What is my armor class? Because I remember we changed all of ours for the thing.
You have medium armor, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's just
armor?
13, right?
It should be medium. I wanna.
Then it's 15 for because it's 14 plus dex, which is 1 for you.
Okay.
Mm.
Because I remember I changed it for
The ball ballet or masquerade ball.
I'm gonna grip the top of the chest as though I'm going to open it.
Okay, nothing happens.
Are you gonna
I'm
attempt?
going to lift the chest like I actually am trying to open it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean,
I
give it a
honestly don't
shot.
want to touch the chest.
I don't either,
It's
but
something
like
with the wolf. It's something with the wolf.
Well, yeah, clearly. I just.
Alice is about to stab a wolf.
How about you
stab the
don't?
wolf then. Do it before I open the chest.
Either way, this is a bad situation.
Yeah, one of you's trying to open up a death chest. One of you's trying to stab a
about to
stone wolf.
stab a wolf.
Yeah, all right.
I'm
How about
sorry.
this? You two just wait. I'm gonna go back to the statue we saw earlier, and I'm gonna
No,
go.
don't you leave us.
I'm just gonna go grab.
You're a part of
something.
this too.
No. Bye. Walking out.
Okay, so you're going to drag the statue?
No, I'm not gonna try and drag it first. I'm just gonna check to see if there's any parts that have fallen off of it or something. Is it like completely intact, or is there like parts broken off?
You make your way there. It is completely intact. It looks maybe a little bit weathered, but
Wow.
it is completely there.
Somehow
What is that
impressed the stone.
What is that a statue of?
Yeah, I was like,
It's a statue of a young man wearing what looks to be knight armor and wielding having a sword sheathed at his side.
That's probably it. Alice is gonna go help Railed.
You like
I'm gonna
bring in
wait
this.
until they get back.
oh my
Okay.
God, Barthon, you're gonna die, aren't you?
Because obviously the wolf is growling because we're petting it. Maybe we gotta make the statue pet the wolf.
That's what I'm thinking, or at least put it close to it, and then we.
Dylan, don't you fucking snicker at me, you bitch.
I just have a funny image of your characters going, grabbing like the stone hand and like drawing it across.
I will
the side.
break a hand off and I will have it touch that wolf because that counts.
Oh my God.
Inspect the statue the same way we inspected
Dill,
the
hold up.
doggos.
If I pet the statue's
Yes,
head,
Kevin?
it'll start growling at
Is
me.
the statue? Is the statue one like? Is it a size of like a normal human?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
so it's
human.
petrified human. It's a petrified human then. All
Well,
right,
the
guys.
statue is specifically of an elf, but
Okay, well, even regardless, it's basically like life size in a way.
But it's a boy and it's a person.
Okay, well, let's keep it intact. There's probably something alive in here. We should definitely not break it.
So actually, could I investigate the statue and see if it's lifelike?
yeah, go ahead.
Never mind, I don't even know a statue exists.
All right, Kevin, would you like to investigate?
Do you want? Can I roll investigation instead of
Yeah.
perception?
Yeah, this is very lifelike as well.
Okay, yeah, it's there's definitely something in this.
You want to like try and take the statue into the room with the wolf?
I mean, I would gladly like to do that, but let's try not to damage the goods as well.
Okay.
With the two of you, I'm not gonna have you roll strength for taking it back.
Yeah, Alice rolls up her. Actually, she doesn't have sleep. She rolls up her cloak. That still has a hole in
I'm
it.
gonna be
and
of
that's
no
the
help.
patch.
I'm gonna be of no help, by the way.
I thought he said that we don't have to roll.
Yeah, you don't have to roll for this.
Damn it,
since you're
Dill!
doing it. Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, Alice can pick up most of these.
Yeah.
So I can pick you up, Railed, if you want her to.
No, thanks. I prefer to be on solid ground.
So you guys carry the castle, not the castle, Jesus Christ,
Yeah, bench press the castle.
the statue to the
What an image! A little girl
ruins where-
carrying a castle. Yes.
where Python is at.
Hi, doggy. We have your person, I
All right,
think.
Gently set it down close to the wolf.
So I have a question. How are his hands positioned? Is it like a hand? Is there like a hand that's almost at a level to which it would be touching the wolf?
One of them is a single
isn't it?
like
One's
finger
pointing, right?
and thumb. He's like pointing off in the distance. His left hand, which with his other fingers, like in a fist. You know, like how you.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The other hand is
At his
like
waist.
in a fist on his waist.
Huh.
What about around the wolf statue? Is there any markings or
There are no marks.
indents?
statue.
Literally nothing else. Oh.
Okay, so in the story, was there anything in particular that the boy may have been pointing at or done that would involve pointing?
Not from the story Kevin's character remembers. Or Joe's character remembers, whichever one it was.
Me.
All right.
Evans.
But yeah, no, nothing.
Unless we have it point at a chest, and then we have to pick the right chest. I don't know.
Pick the right
If
chest.
we don't pick the right chest, the wolf comes alive.
It's okay.
More alive than it already is.
It's okay. It's only one of them and 3 of us. We can handle it. Actually, we have Happy with
Yeah.
us too. Never mind. We can do it.
Yeah, Happy can bench press a wolf.
I would like to inspect the individual statue more, personally.
The human one?
Yeah.
Or elf one, I mean.
Yeah.
What do you want to investigate on it, I guess?
Just in general, or actually any consistencies between the two, I should say.
Okay.
The eyes. Seem
Go
to be
ahead,
filled
roll.
with
If
light.
I pet the boy, will he start growling?
That's a good idea. Actually.
So his eyes look like they have life in them.
Yes.
In addition, there's also a small like pendant, kind of like hanging out of his one pouch, that has like an image of a wolf on it.
Oh.
Yeah, this is one very detailed statue, or it's the fact that it's actually the guy who's
So-
petrified.
So this is actually something I'm very curious about for the chest, because since there's 2 statues and then 2 chests, is there anything like around the chest or any areas that look different from anything else?
Like what?
No.
Like, no indentions, nothing.
Literally nothing.
Can I try to pull the pendant out?
You can to do so. It's essentially like statue, like you'd have to like rip a
It's
piece
petrified.
off the statue to do it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't.
Yeah, sorry, it's not like it's like
Not-
literally part of the statue.
Yeah, not an actual
Okay.
thing.
Well, for now, can we just position the guy so that way he's pointing at the wolf?
Sure, let's do that.
I choose you, Wolfie Shoe. So he's pointing at the wolf. Nothing happens.
Could we try petting the wolf now?
Oof.
The wolf growls 10% more.
Can you cure wounds on it, Barthon?
Can I try to
Not
like?
wasting another cure wounds.
Okay. Well, can I have? Okay, so I'm gonna try and reposition the statue so it's pointing at the chest.
Okay.
You position the what?
The statue?
Position the statue so it's pointing at a chest.
Which chest, and how are you going? Are you just gonna angle it backwards, kind of? Just because of like where the level. I mean, we can do that.
I
But
understand.
This
I'm
might-
gonna have it pointing at the stairway that leads up to the death chest.
okay. I'm going to use Joe's investigation still. You see that some like the kind of like life behind his eyes like dulls like slightly.
Oh, you don't like death? Oh,
Oh.
I'm gonna put you at the prison chest.
You pointing at the imprisoned like staircase?
Yeah.
You see his eyes slightly brighten up, Joe.
So there's
Like
something.
being.
There's something about that then, of course.
When he saw the prison, you were dulled when he saw.
Carry him up the stairs and force him to open the imprisonment chest.
Wait, you
I'm
were
going to
basically
just let
asking.
me just stop you right now. There's there's no conceivable way I could see you like being
Yeah.
able to have him open up the chest with the
With his
like
one finger that's pointing out. You just lift it up.
No.
Death, imprisonment, death, imprisonment.
I
death,
mean,
imprisonment.
maybe like it brightens up because he chose to take imprisonment over death. Maybe.
I am gonna open the imprisonment chest.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh no.
So you approach the green imprisonment chest.
Well, hold on.
And-
Actually, before I open it,
Yes.
I would like to see what he looks like as I am closer to the imprisonment chest.
I mean, he can't see you technically.
So it doesn't change at all?
No.
Okay. Mm.
Are you opening up the chest?
Get that grin off your face, Dylan.
Okay,
I
so
have a grin on my face.
something I want to know. Has anyone done like a full perception of the room?
I have, yeah. There's
Yeah,
like literally
there's nothing
else.
special in the room.
There's nothing special about the room except the stairway to the chest and the wolf statue?
Yep.
Nothing at all?
That is
And the fact
literally
that it looks pristine aside from the moss.
Yep, that's literally it. You could try cleaning the statues.
What was Kevin's perception roll?
It was decently high.
Let me look for
Alright.
it. It was 17.
Yeah, that's high. That Dylan would give you everything on from that. Well, not everything, but
Most.
like 90%.
Yeah, almost anything that's important enough.
See, it dulled when it looked at death. Dulled when it looked at the prison. Sorry, dulled when it looked at death, and then brightened when it was in the prison.
Can we try
So,
moving the statue
Can the
closer?
wolf statue? For the wolf.
Hold on, wait one sec. What did you say first, Kevin?
I was just gonna say, could we just move the actual like elf statue closer to the chest and see if it brightens his eyes a little more, or not?
You can, and I'm gonna say you do that. There's no difference. Trayvon, what did you say?
I was going to, because I'm assuming that we could possibly move the wolf statue too.
You could try. You haven't
Okay.
yet, but
You could.
Can I? So how is the wolf positioned in the room actually?
you know that picture I sent? That's how he's set on a pedestal.
And it's facing towards the entrance.
Yeah.
So it's facing
Does
towards that
Is
entrance.
the pedestal like a
It's-
rotating pedestal?
No, it's just a square pedestal, it's like a foot off the ground. That's it, though.
Oh, the only thing I could think of is if I switched the statues and put the wolf statue back in the other room, and then put this guy where the wolf statue is.
I don't know. Does the wolf statue even look like it could move? Like you can lift it off?
So I want to try and pick up the wolf statue and point its direction to the deaf chest.
Death trash.
I need a strength throw.
I'm not
What
throwing
if-
anything though.
What if Kevin and I
Strength.
help?
A strength save?
I'm still going to require a strength, just roll a strength roll.
Oh.
Because this is big,
Oh.
like 10 feet long.
Alright,
It's
You want? Should we help?
So,
We should probably.
yeah.
you guys can contribute also.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
Um,
really
I'll do.
helping. Not really helping.
Barthon, strong person.
Strongman Barthon,
strong-
Barthon, strong.
Strong dwarf.
strong heart. So you guys are able to pick up this wolf, and the growling raises up by like 50%. It's audible, like through the general room.
Doggo, get over yourself.
Doggo has gotten over herself.
So, is there anything notably different about the doggo besides obviously the growling?
No, you notice something interesting.
Oh no.
So like the life behind the wolf's eyes, using Joe's roll still. Because I'm not gonna have you roll a billion times for eyes. You notice something a little bit weird. Whereas the other one brightened and dulled, the wolf's eyes, you notice that they, strangely enough, get more tumultuous when facing the imprisonment staircase, and more calm when facing the death staircase.
It wants to accept death.
Strange.
It is really strange.
Doggo also doesn't want me moving him.
Yeah.
Doggo
Oh wait,
does
so
not
if he's
like-
calmer, does that mean the fucking growling went down?
No, just calm behind the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
fuck you, Doggo.
So,
So we
Um,
need to kill the doggo, and
I think I need to kill the Doggo.
maybe that will free.
One moment, I'm gonna grab my phone charger.
And we need to imprison, so we need to find a steel cage.
oh.
But as soon as Dill comes back, I'm just gonna have Alice stab the statue.
Oh,
That's fine.
okay.
Should have done good with. That's why I gave the ultimatum: either
So-
you stab it
So
or I open the death chest.
before you do that, I'm just gonna go up to one of the staircases, like on one of the platforms, so I can just have vantage points. You know?
You mean get away? So that way, if anything happens, Alice is the only one who's
No,
taking.
no, it's not.
That's right.
Not
I'll load gold into my plunder bus and fire away.
That's
Alice has a
Just name it.
hole in her shoulder. What else could go wrong?
you healed it. It's not. It's a nice flesh wound now.
You're right. It did heal in ways you guys couldn't possibly imagine.
Oh. At least you didn't need to eat more soldiers. That's what matters.
I really do wish that Dylan would implement the food and water thing. I understand that you guys may find that a little tiresome, but I actually really like that, and I can make that work in how Alice actually is as a character.
No.
I mean, you can implement it as yourself for your character.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Sure.
do that. That's weird.
You know, we can make it seem like, you know, whenever we do see
Everyone must suffer together.
No. No. That's
But I might, honestly. It'll depend on a few things.
well,
But
one-
first things first, I gotta stab this wolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming Dill does get back, though, of course. Speak of the devil, there he is now.
Okay.
Speak of Satan.
Yep.
So Dill,
Yes.
Alice is gonna stab the wolf.
What are you going to stab with?
Does anyone have a dagger?
More like.
Yep,
can you-
here, take my dagger.
I was gonna say, could you just take the elf statue's sword out of his scabbard?
No.
No, it's fused.
Once again,
in.
it's like a statue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Okay,
tried.
but you take Barthon's dagger.
I'm gonna currently delete that because I don't think I want it back anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Uh,
I'm gonna go up the staircase, still up to one of the chests. And
So
just sit there.
notice this. Still,
Wait.
they're both backing away.
Okay.
No, I did not back away. I'm still like right there.
Which
I-
chest are you setting
be
back?
loading-
Kevin?
I'm loading.
I'm stand.
Five.
I'm gonna stand by the death one.
Barthon, sorry.
I'm gonna be loading 5. Wait, hold on. I want to make sure that's correct. Yes, I'm gonna be loading 5 gold into my plunder bus.
Okay.
And preparing.
Okay. And Alice, ball's in your court.
For all we know, this could not end up in a combat situation, anyways.
Alice, hold dagger. Alice, stab dagger into wolf.
Wait,
Honestly,
where?
Yeah, but I don't see D20 strength roll, but also tell me where after.
In the head where
Okay.
Scar was.
Okay. So you slam this dagger straight in the top of the wolf's head,
Sorry, doggo.
and the blade shatters. The,
Like Alice is like,
the wolf's growling raises up to that of a small jet engine, which Traven is probably the best to understand the sound of that.
What the fuck?
You wanna
it's
just
so
make me
loud.
deaf?
It's shaking the entire ruins.
Kier wins.
Whoa.
Kier wins.
This is so cool. Actually, I want to keep doing it. I want to see if
No.
because that's actually really interesting that Dill is making it do that.
No. Can we
Yeah,
have,
found
Go ahead,
the
can I-
do it one more time.
Can
Do
I
it
have-
one more.
Can I
Attack
have
it.
The
some,
ultimate weapon.
one more time.
Do you have another dagger?
I don't-
found the ultimate weapon.
I
Wait,
have
Kevin's.
I have a spare dagger.
Yeah, the one I gave you.
Yeah.
I feel like if I stab this wolf again, he's gonna bite me.
Good. Maybe it will solve one of the problem.
I don't...
What's after a jet engine? Because that's probably one of the loudest things that you'll ever come across.
Small jet engine.
Small jet engine or loud jet engine?
That was a small one. Small jet engine.
We're gonna jump up to Boeing 747.
You said it's like shaking the temple.
Yes.
C-130 engines.
Those get really fucking loud. Because they're way louder than people think they are.
That's okay. That's okay, I guess.
But
Here,
so
I'll give you the dagger, and you.
I don't think Alice is gonna be stabbing because I'm pretty sure.
Well, this is gonna be a very irritating like growl in our ears for a while. I don't want to lose my hearing.
Someone could just.
So
That's just gonna make it worse though. If I
either you stab it, or I cure wounds on it right now. And then cure wounds on it. After you stab it.
You want to just go further and then just like relieve it? How many more cure wounds can you cast, Joe?
2 more,
Oh,
I
no.
believe.
Okay.
Why would the dagger break? Why did arming go up?
It's a
Why?
statue. I mean, yeah. It's gonna...
That makes me think I shouldn't be doing this. Or at least in the design of it.
I hear a small jet engine right now in the background.
That is here. It is a strong boy. Kevin, if I were to tick on every single small noise,
Dude, I'm such a like audiophile right now. In fact, you probably hear something in the
that's not
background
even the
running
virgin audio file. Files you want to sound perfect. Really, it's just small things in the background.
Exactly. Well, look, man, I've recorded videos. All right, I hate the small background noises now.
Okay, just saying. But Alice is out of the wolf.
You're going to or not going to?
I'm not going to stab the wolf.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's warning, and I shouldn't be doing this. Because why would the dagger
I mean, they
be
could
growling up to a small jet engine?
They could be just cheapo daggers, which they were.
And it's also a blade I'm trying to stab into stone, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's
You're
gonna
right, I
break.
should just shoot it.
I'm honestly because it's really weird in the fact of you have the 2 statues. There's the wolf. It has the scar on it, so it's definitely the old wolf. But the thing about the story that we heard is that that wolf was transformed into a monster.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. That's like the one thing I'm not really understanding about all this.
But it transformed into a monster because the boy,
Because he-
now
he
man,
put magic.
he put some magic to revive it or something like that, and then
Used more than likely necromancy to revive it.
I think
I'm tempted to just open the goddamn chest.
we're really
honest.
overthinking. We're really overthinking this.
We
aren't
probably are. You know what? Someone open a chest because we don't know.
I am gonna open the imprisonment chest.
do it,
All right, since I'm up here anyways, I'm opening the death chest at the same time.
Alice is gonna get behind.
Wait,
the
so you're
statue.
opening both of them at the same time?
Alice is gonna get behind the
No,
statues.
don't at the same time. One or the other.
Okay,
That's
fine.
what we got.
Okay. You open the imprisonment chest first, then.
I will open the imprisonment chest.
Okay. So you take your hands on the lid of the chest and you begin to lift. And as you lift up the chest, a light, this green light kind of shines out of it. And before your very eyes, the 2 statues begin to turn mortal. And the dog stops being a jet engine. And the man also takes a deep breath and says, "Oh, I cannot believe that I can breathe yet again."
Well,
Fair friends,
welcome back to the living.
Doggo.
No name for Doggo.
That is his name. He's my wolf named Doggo.
Oh my goodness! All right.
And the wolf kind of like tentatively like looks around.
He's
It's
a
this massive
fucking
thing.
big. He's a big ass wolf. Yeah, I mean.
And the man says, how can I ever repay you? I know just the thing. And he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out this red coin.
Oh,
Okay.
And he
I will take red coin.
oh okay.
it's in the death chest.
You walk forward and he hands you the red coin and he says, if ever you need any help of me or my friend, just bury the coin in the ground and we'll be there shortly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sounds exciting.
What if I
So
open the death
who
chest
did he
right now?
hand the coin to? Alice?
Barthon.
Okay.
Barthon volunteered first.
Why don't I open the death chest while we're at it?
Are you opening
Nope,
the death
don't.
chest right now?
Don't open the death
I know
chest.
exactly what it
Don't
would do.
open the death chest.
Do not open the death
I know
We're
chest.
probably
exactly
gonna
what-
get the second version of that story.
I know. I know exactly what it will do now, and I'm tempted.
Well, I need to know, are you opening the death chest or
I
not?
really do feel like Kevin should just play a chaotic fucking character at this point. No.
He is playing a chaotic
No,
character.
that is not what my character is. It's supposed to be lawful good. But no, that's not what.
Not with these actions.
Neutral.
Not with that
no,
thought
it's
process.
neutral good. That's what it was. Neutral good. But
It's
Then it's
supposed-
definitely not this.
I don't know. Maybe Kolvik is still ingrained into my brain or something.
What's character alignment?
Yeah, what is character?
But yeah,
no.
let's not do that.
Yeah,
Let's keep the coin.
Okay, I'll play my character. I won't open the chest. What is in the chest right now, actually, Joe? Is there anything else in there, or is it just a...
An empty chest.
Should I investigate? I'll investigate the chest.
The empty chest?
Okay, it's empty. That's fine.
Is that it? Did we waste all this time just to get a
Well,
coin?
you got an ally.
Boo.
Ooh.
And if you would have opened up the death chest, well, who knows?
They would have all died. or
Okay,
we'd have
let's open the chest.
Are you
No.
opening up the chest?
God damn it, Kevin.
If you're gonna open the chest, I'm just gonna walk out.
Yeah.
Alice,
You know what?
Alice
If
is
you
gonna
wanna-
have the impression that we're gonna get the second version of that story.
If you want to open that chest, wait until we leave, Kevin.
All right, let's leave.
Or we
Let's
just like walk out after we open the chest, like nothing happens, and then we walk out and then walk for like a mile, and we see the body of the boy and the dog just laying on the ground. It's like, oh, that's what that chest is.
100% what I expect to happen if you open that chest.
Oh, I know. But then at that
Yeah,
point,
how
like,
powerful.
Or
what,
we
like?
die.
But then what's stopping other people from opening it? You know?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna strap here now. There's
Probably
nothing.
the fact that there's nothing but death and curses all over the chest.
Again, there's people like us.
Most sane people wouldn't
That
do
is
that.
fair.
We're not sane people.
We should take this chest back to our keep.
Kevin, leave the chest.
So, we head out on our merry way and continue our adventure. Well, we're gonna end the session tonight. I will say, what would have happened if you would have chose the death chest? It would have instantly killed both of them, and then you would have got a different kind of reward. Whereas now you have an ally.
Yay.
Different kind of reward.
Wait,
Nufani will present us.
Wait. What would the other award have been? Because I mean, we're obviously not gonna get it now.
It was just it would be a vial of energy that would convert one good aligned creature to evil.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't-
maybe that would have.
Wow,
had
that's
use,
actually very That's a very metaphorical, considering Kevin was the one who wanted to fucking open the chest. There you go, Kevin. Take your vial.
but- Yeah.
instead of Instead of us getting a vial, it would just change Kevin's character to evil.
Change Kevin's character to evil.
Well, I wouldn't have let you guys do it to a PC, but it's more so for creatures.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
humans.
Would it would
humans
do
are
the reverse?
creatures.
Like if we gave it to an evil creature, it would have turned it good.
No, it would
Aw.
just made it more evil.
Is that
More evil.
So instead of being like a human level of evil, it would be like demonic level of
I
evil.
probably would have
So
found like a
it's safe.
mouse or something and just poured the vial on it. So that way we have like this little mouse that's just nefarious.
It's like, come on,
Always-
do something.
It's an evil mouse now.
all right?
Uh,
Well, it was exciting.
Wow,
It was.
that was almost a 4-hour.
We now
session.
have an ally.
Holy crap!